Welcome everybody to the Sharpshooters Wrestling Podcast. I am Eric.
And I'm Lord Manny. Hey! Ho ho!
Oh, universal shot. Oh, no! Oh, I forgot to change it.
Marcus and Manny got a show. Hey! Oh!
See, I see what you guys are trying to do.
Sorry, I messed it up because I know we changed it. I remember seeing the text and I was like, oh no, and like But yeah, how you doing?
So let me understand it. So you don't even say you're the grand finale anymore.
No, it's just for this. It was just for this because we didn't plan to tell you what we were doing.
This is y'all secret production meetings. I see how it is.
It's no secret. You can see half of it when we start the show. Production problems happen. But I'm Marcus, the grand finale, guys.
And we're here again. Hello, Chris. Chris is in the chat room once again.
Hey, shout out to Chris.
So, how are things going on the Untitled Manny and Marcus show that takes place on Tuesdays and Thursdays? In case for people who don't know about that, who listen just to the audio podcast.
Well, we are live every Tuesday and Thursday, and on YouTube on chat at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time, and things start off always rocky, but they always smoothing out, and it's been an amazing experience. Partnering up with Manny for this second show is pretty good. I'm having fun with it.
Just like NXT, we finished strong.
Take all our nonsense in the beginning.
Well, I mean, you guys were having audio issues, but I thought you guys bounced back really well and produced a really good show. If you guys did not get to see it live, make sure you go to our channel where all of our videos are archived, and you can watch it and enjoy it right from the comfort of your own home. And if you're watching on YouTube and you realize that maybe committing to 2 to 3 hours listening to our live recording of the show, you can go into iTunes, Spotify, or anywhere that you listen to your podcast and search for the Sharpshooters. That's DA Sharpshooters, and you can subscribe and listen to the show right then and there.
Bravo! Check out that professionalism. That was not without missing a beat. I swear you're reading a teleprompter.
A teleprompter?
You know, Marcus.
Yeah.
Marcus, I went back to listen to some of my older podcasts, and I realized, how do they do it, and I wanted to sit down here and put the best show out possible, because, it's just like when WWE got AEW. You got competition, so you need to step your game up. So although we're all part of the same umbrella of the DSPN network, I still feel that this show is competing with the Untitled Manny and Marcus show. So I need to try to step my game up somewhat to make a better show.
You competed. You added a brand split to the show for no reason.
It's not even competing. This is the flagship.
Yes, but
this is the 3-hour show. This is the main staple of the show.
I get what you're saying.
If anything, we're the side chick of the show.
I get what you're saying, but you still have a show that has more views than any of the shows that we've ever done on Saturday. You have the 80-view episode, which makes this the SmackDown edition of DSPN. I'm okay with being SmackDown.
SmackDown draws more than Raw now.
Huh? It does?
SmackDown draws more than Raw, yeah.
It's called being on national TV, baby. That's what happens. Anyway, with that being said, there's so many things to talk about in this week of pro wrestling. I think what we need to discuss, and we'll be the first ones to say, and I think we can all agree, we will not be experts on this subject, but at the same time, I don't think that we should ignore what took place. What took place, it was either Wednesday, possibly Thursday, not 100% sure, but PW, a Twitter account called PW Truth or something, released names of a gaggle of professional wrestlers who have partaking in sexual abuse allegations, and it was eye-opening to see some of the names on the list. I mean, for the whole entire NXT UK roster is pretty much on the list. The interim
everyone except Pete Dunne, it seems like.
Yes, who was tweeting, but maybe Pete Dunne is on that list. You never know, because Pete Dunne and Pete Dunne are two different people.
Pete Dunne and Pete, two different people.
Two different people. But he's in Pete Dunne mode.
It's Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Jordan Devlin, his name was on the list. Maybe that's why he's the interim champion. Matt Riddle was mentioned. We'll get there soon.
Can I jump in on Jordan Devlin?
Yeah.
On the Marcus and Manny show, Manny wanted Jordan Devlin to retain that cruiserweight title. How do you feel about it right now? Now that he's been accused of misconduct with women.
Fuck him. Like, I don't know if his allegations are true or not, but like, if someone's going that far to make an allegation about you, you've done something wrong, and things like that men shouldn't be treating women like that. That's end of the day.
Yeah, the thing about it, like we were going to say this because we want to protect ourselves from any type of lawsuits because we don't have any money to get. But yes, these are all allegations. There is no evidence that any of these allegations are true. But the one thing I've learned is that allegations can be just as deadly as actually doing the act. Unfortunately, it sounds really bad. It sounds like professional wrestling, as I suspected, because we have always known that professional wrestling might not be the best environment for your livelihood because it can be toxic. A bunch of men in a locker room, and looking at the time frame of when this took place, the women's movement wasn't as far as long as it is right now. I would like to first focus on a few of the stories. Jimmy Havoc's story. It caught me off guard with the abuse allegations of him threatening to have his opponent kill him in his death match if she decided to leave him. He berated her and things of that nature. It was very in line with his character on television, but I kind of hope that his character on television was just an act, but he wasn't like this. Manny, because he is a UK brother of yours, how do you feel about the allegations of Jimmy Havoc?
Is Manny going to defend the entire UK?
I feel like I have to defend the entire UK. I'm not one of these predators. I don't know, and even AEW's response was like very weak in the matter, and it was they went down he's gone through mental illness and he's going through therapy and stuff like this for it now, and we support him with that. Whereas like you look at the other way, and you look at Jack Gallagher, who's been released. That guy's done it just because he's been fired of the way the WWE have taken their stance on it. So if you've been accused of it, I think they suspend you, and then if you're convicted of it, they fire you.
Well, the interesting thing about it, there was one report I saw, and I couldn't follow up and find anything else, that some people even say that Gentleman Jack, who may not be considered such a gentleman now, may have been arrested also, which could create so many more problems. Marcus, were you surprised that Mr. Havoc was a part of this scandal? Did you think that he would threaten to kill himself in a match if she left him?
Well, I think a lot of stories were shocking. Like, whether it was Jimmy Havoc or to Jimmy Havoc to Jim Cornette to Dave Lagana from the NWA, who's also releasing this. I believe all of these stories are really shocking, and you just go like, there's some people when you hear them in chat going like, that person would never do that. I don't believe this woman or whoever. But they need to look back into themselves and be like, I don't really actually know these people. Like, you don't know these people. You may do a meet and greet. They may sign your t-shirt. You may buy some of their merchandise. You may see them on TV. That doesn't make everybody great. You don't know what demons these people have in their personal life. And, whether, Jimmy Havoc's stories just sound insane. Velveteen Dreams, it's like, oh man, he was really going after, younger women and stuff. And Cornette and having his wife,
I'm not, Marcus, I will get to Cornette. Don't worry about that.
Roster. But it just shows the larger epidemic, this brotherhood in wrestling, that a lot of this has happened. And there's a lot of people that don't speak up as well. Like, the Kaylee Ray situation, that's one that I kind of believe because she did just leave AEW when she fought. That's like your big chance, but to just leave like that in the middle of it, it's like something bad happened there. Something really bad that you had to just leave. Like you said, you don't know if these people are innocent or guilty. And because a lot of this website was just give us a name tell us a story and you never exactly know. Like even TJP came out and said he was sexually abused by women.
Oh my God! If you want to go down that road, we need to cover Jim Cornette and his wife.
Manny, I was going to talk about Jim Cornette, because Jim Cornette's story was even more perplexing than Jimmy Havoc's story. It's that he would take some of the younger wrestlers from the OVW, and I believe they were male and female, possibly, because I was skimming through some of this stuff, and they would have to have sex with his wife while Jim Cornette was watching this. Jim Cornette, of course, went out and denied everything online. With that being said, the allegations, the accusations, and everything that has surrounded Jim Cornette, I think we can all come to the conclusion that Jim Cornette may not be the best person in the whole wide world. Marcus, is that safe to say?
No, you got that? It's not any of his comments, whether he's attacking Dana Brooke for her face, or he said racial comments on TV that no one apparently picked up in NWA. Whether he's criticizing Becky Lynch for having a baby. Like it's a long history with Jim Cornette. And yeah, some people, I don't know if this is a situation in which he is guilty. He sounds guilty as fuck, but it just seems like it's just more stuff that just piles on.
The greatest thing about one of his defense was like, oh, look at this. The Twitter picture is this. How is it evidence? Because it has my current Twitter picture. And then someone pointed out that once you change your icon, it changes it for all your tweets or something like that. I just can't believe.
Old man problems.
Old man problems.
You're guilty.
Manny, you wanted to touch on the Jim Cornette. What is your take about Cornette?
I don't want to touch Jim Cornette. I don't want to even touch his wife.
How dare you make Manny touch upon this?
I don't want to be groomed. How dare you?
Yeah, it's all the same. And it's like, oh man, when this all came out, you just go like, I'll take that with a great. Like there were people accusing other people. Like I believe there was one story talking about how this person abused them, and they were on the WWE roster in 2013. And now can be seen every Wednesday night. And they was like, oh, that's Jake Hager. And I'm like, you can't put that on him. That could be anybody. That could be Billy Gunn for all you know. Like, it could be anybody.
I think what we got to remember is that it did take a lot of strength for these women to actually come forward. But we also got to remember that a lot of these are allegations, and some of them might be coming from a place of hate. So some of these allegations might not be true. So it probably best that we just stay as far away from it as much as possible till outcomes are made and stuff like that.
As Manny is correct in that situation, because we don't want to pick a side in this fight, because it's nothing like picking a side and you find out that you were on the wrong side. But before we move on to our next topic, there's one more thing that I wanted to talk about, because it was one more person who was accused of sexual misconduct, and that was NXT breakout superstar, now SmackDown superstar, Matthew Riddle. The interesting thing about Matthew Riddle was that when the reports first came out of him being in a car with a group of other wrestlers who demanded to have sex from this young lady, and when sex didn't happen, he forced her to oral copulate him, was that, oh wow, that's kind of a crazy story in this situation. However, Matt didn't take this sitting down. He lawyered up. I guess he went to WWE. He said that this girl has been stalking him and been trying to drive a wedge in his life for a long time. And whatever evidence that he presented to the higher-ups in WWE allowed for his debut to still take place on Friday Night SmackDown. Considering that WWE cut ties with Gentleman Jack so quickly, I guess you can believe that whatever he presented was strong enough to keep him employed, or at least keep him on television. Would you agree with that, Marcus?
Yeah, I feel like being a public figure, whether he was super famous at the time or not, being a public figure, you have to be able to protect yourself. You have to be able, because anything can happen. Anybody can accuse you of anything. And in America, I don't know how it is anywhere else, but in America, as soon as you're accused, you're automatically seen as guilty until you're proven innocent. And Matt Riddle seems to be somebody that, I ain't playing that shit. I know what's been going on, and I have evidence to back it up that this person is crazy in case something comes back on me. And do I know if these allegations against him are true or he's just, backed himself up good? I don't know. I don't know 100%, but I do think that most people need to learn how to protect themselves in this situation when they are a public figure or if they are anybody that's performing or any situation in which someone would or maybe want to commit, accuse you of something just to either one, because they want to get back at you, or two, because they want money or they just want the spotlight. So I commend on that. This is a different situation than like Enzo Amore, who didn't have any backup, found out to be, I believe he was found to be innocent of his claim, but he was fired right away because I believe he didn't communicate anything. I think that he got the Jack Gallagher treatment.
And no, in the Enzo situation, that they actually filed charges, but I believe that the law enforcement realized that they didn't have enough evidence to proceed with a criminal case, which can happen all the time. Manny, do you agree with Marcus' sentiment, or is there anything that you need to add to what he said, or are we almost ready to move on?
I agree with Marcus, but the other thing I wanted to bring up, another gentleman that's been brought up in this is the Dream, and his Twitter profile was now literally just unfollowed everyone and removal of his display pictures. So that situation's quite awkward now as well.
I believe the Dream and also Justin Roberts had allegations that were put out that was like long tweets of when Justin Roberts was trying to get a underage girl back in 2013 or 2014, allegedly to get him to send her new pics. This stuff is crazy. As Manny said earlier, for the victims to come forward right now, it is a very, very difficult thing to do. I work in the courtroom every day, and I know what happens when you make these type of allegations, because once you make these allegations and you try to move forward, the first thing everybody wants to do is blame the victim, and then your history becomes dragged into the mud. At the same time, if people are out there making false accusations, I believe they should be punished also, and only time will tell what will happen in this entire situation. With that being said, I think it's time for us to move on to more happier things, and we're going to talk about WWE acquiring some more footage to put on their network that is now free. Marcus, are you excited that Leon Ruff, and now the home of Austin Theory, is possibly owned by WWE since they purchased the rights to Evolve Wrestling?
Well, I always like this footage to go somewhere where I can see it. Instead of buying like old DVDs, it seems easier to see everything on the network in their giant archive. But the only reason they buy footage is for whenever they want to make a documentary about somebody. That's all they care about. It's like, oh, we're going to do a 24 on Austin Theory or Swerve Scott or whoever, came from Evolve. Whether it's Rua, who never showed up again, or Shotzi Blackheart. They only buy it for the footage. And Evolve was basically evolving into another form of the WWE
feeder system.
Developmental. Yeah. It was just like, oh, we're just getting all the Evolve guys. And they already showed some of their events on the network. But I believe that they're dismantling Evolve as well, right? Like, it's no longer going to exist now that they purchase it.
Gabe Spolowski, I can't really say. I know he used to run Ring of Honor. He said that, Evolve is done. So he was more than happy, I guess, to get some type of check for his catalog, which I think it's, the catalog is always good to have. Manny, did you ever watch Evolve, or is this like just a non-story for you?
I think the only time I've ever watched Evolve was when they had that one-time event on the WWE network. But I think it's good that they're acquiring it, because it gives you some alternative stuff to watch on the WWE network. Whereas like a lot of the stuff on there is just old stuff, and given that they've made a whole proportion of the WWE network free, it really makes me question why I'm paying for it when a lot of that stuff is free.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I was going to ask that question. Have you guys noticed any type of benefits of having a paid subscription compared to the free version of the product? Because I haven't really looked much into it, but I've been paying my $9.99 for almost since the network existed.
I think you're I think you're only paying for the pay-per-view now. That's it, monthly.
And I'm still okay with paying $10 for pay-per-views, baby, because you know I can't pay anymore. I just can't pay anymore.
I can't break out a Fighter Fest or All Out or whatever AEW is putting out. Like, that's $50 or $60. Like, hey man, chill.
It's so many different things I could buy for $60 instead of watching AEW, a product that I barely want to watch on Wednesday. So now you want me to pay $60? No, baby, no.
Here's my question: is like the Last Ride documentary, is that paid or free?
I think that's paid.
Like, I think you still will get good content. Like, I enjoy when they put their documentary series up. Like, they do a really good job of production, whether it's like for the WWE24 or, you know, the many other shows they have. Like, I enjoy the WWE Network. Like, there's a lot of stuff on there. Like, even the original content, you can go back to Table for Three and, you know, the random stuff. Like, I actually enjoy some of that. And I can't wait for the R-Truth show.
Now, let me just point out, Marcus, this is where I know I'm lazy. I would so much more prefer if the WWE Network was available through my cable subscriber, where I could just turn to channel 653 and it's like the network right there, because those hoops that you got to go through, pull out your phone, get the app. It's just, that is fat man laziness.
So lazy.
That is fat man laziness at the pinnacle, but it's something more easier.
Back in my day, you had to go find the cassette and put it into a VCR and fast forward to the one match you want to see, and hopefully you don't skip over because you got to go back and try to find it.
That is also true. The last news story that I want to talk about is one I find in good humor. Dave Metzler, you know, the guy who's been writing, you know, news and stuff and all that. He came out.
I believe it's Meltzer.
Whatever his name is, I don't care. You know who I'm talking about. Dave, Uncle Dave. I think that's what they call him.
You know, no, don't ever refer to him as Uncle Dave, Eric. Don't.
You know, I can't say his last name. With that being said,
oh, Daddy.
He did an interview, and he said, and I quote, that you should never watch anything after watching New Japan Pro Wrestling. Tony Khan responded, with all due respect, I agree. You know, we respect what you say and all that good stuff, but I would put my product of AEW up against any other product any day. Manny, I'm going to go to you. Is Tony Khan delusional, or is AEW competing with New Japan?
I think as the owner, essentially the owner, he can't be like, yeah, I agree with you. Would that
Hell yeah.
because that'd be really stupid. That'd give you no intention to watch AEW. So like, yeah, I get replying, but then it's almost like the United States president replying to fucking everything. Like, there's stuff he shouldn't respond to, and he just does it. It's basically that. Just throw away your Twitter account and don't respond to things when you don't need to. You're better than that.
I mean, I agree, man. You're the fucking owner. You don't need to say that Linda Hogan is banned from your events. No one thought she was coming. You don't need to comment to the person who criticizes your show. It's just not necessary. Marcus, is Manny right, or do you disagree just to disagree?
Well, my beloved president, Manny, with all due respect, I love me some America, and I will not stand by you talking about my orange man-child of a president. Yeah, so America, fuck yeah. Even though he's the wildest one. I'm going to give Trump this. He's the wildest motherfucker on the planet. Like, he says whatever he wants, and it don't matter. Like, he does whatever he wants, and he's just that grumpy-ass old man who does, like, it's just like, oh, man, how could you get more racist?
Yeah. How about I take credit for making Juneteenth more important and more famous? I mean, this motherfucker can't.
Wow.
You can't.
But with that being said, back on topic, you know what? I agree that maybe Tony Khan didn't have to speak up, but fuck that guy. I'm going to tell him. That's what I like. Fuck you, Meltzer. Like, even though I probably agree with Meltzer that New Japan is better than AEW, and New Japan is you probably get some of the best wrestling of any program out of that New Japan, but it's a different, like, I would never allow you, like, if I was McDonald's, I'd never let Burger King go, yeah, it's the only burger you should eat. McDonald's got to clap back and be like, shit, I ain't eating your Whopper. Come get a Big Mac where people actually enjoy their meal and not eat horse meat.
The only person that claps back on Twitter about anything food related is Wendy's, and that Wendy's Twitter is fire.
It is.
It's amazing, but they're evil. They're on the side of Trump.
But you just said praise him, Marcus.
It's like everything. I'm just saying everything that I love is on the side of Trump, and it makes me sick.
Well, Marcus, I have another question for you, gents, and this is our last question before we start talking about the week in pro wrestling. And it was something that popped into my head after watching all the shows this week. And Marcus, you said something earlier about how, yeah, New Japan is hard to compete with. My question for the panel today is, do you prioritize a narrative in the show that you're watching, or do you prefer to have great in-ring action? I'm going to throw it to Manny first because Manny had a little bit of extra time to think about this because he was there for the production meeting while Marcus collects his thoughts. Manny, how do you feel?
I feel like, don't get me wrong, the question has a purpose, but like you can't have one without the other. Like you can have great in-ring action, but if you have no story or narrative to go with it, then it doesn't it's accomplishing nothing. So like, imagine you could have the best, like if AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan had nothing going on behind it, like with the AJ not wanting to fight the additional match to get into the finals, and then Daniel Bryan fighting who did he fight? Sheamus to go into the final. If you didn't have that, the match itself would have stood up by itself, but how would you have got there? And then where'd you go after that? That I think you need the narrative in order to have a good match, and sometimes a good narrative saves a really bad match.
Marcus, as I was typing into the chat and I misspelled the word, do you agree with Manny, or are you more in the camp of in-ring action?
I'm going to tell you this about pro wrestling. I don't know what the hell I want, and I don't think most wrestling fans don't know what the hell they want. There's times when there's some storylines and you go, what the fuck is this shit? But then you put other times you go like, man, they really excelled because of the story. Like Edge and Orton having their storyline of having the greatest wrestling match ever, and if Edge cannot do it anymore, added to the drama of Randy Orton kicking him in the nuts, realizing this old man is keeping up with me and he's pushing me to the limit. I gotta cheat and I gotta use the things. But you can have the sport of it, like in Ring of Honor, which is more sport orientated, in which you have like Okada chasing Tanahashi, and he's just not good enough, and whenever he faced Tanahashi, he just loses, and they tell that story. Or it's Ibushi's like he's trying to climb up the rankings, but he always gets either injured or his ass kicked by one of the top guys. And I enjoyed a little bit of that. I enjoyed the comedy aspect, whether like Street Profits or the Inner Circle and stuff like that. Yeah, what was that?
I don't know.
That was you know who that was. That was Mr. Firework Man. And whoever Mr. Firework Man comes out every year and shoots fireworks for 4 months straight, because they're always in a celebratory mood. Back to you. America.
So for me in this situation, I put narrative over everything. I need to have a purpose to be there. It's just like, I'm not going to watch an action movie that just has a bunch of action scenes with no reason for these action scenes to take place. I mean, it's like watching a Michael Bay movie without any type of script. Like, let me just flip and blow shit up. I like having a reason to be involved with these two characters or this tag team or the people who are trying to solve whatever problems that they have. I think great in-ring action can sometimes exceed expectation without the story, but I think that story, it's very, very important to have. And the only reason why that I bring that up is because I thought this week was a great example of shows that had absolutely no narrative and in-ring action, and it bothered me. I thought Monday Night Raw transitioning to there started off and was a very good show that had a lot of entertaining aspects. Not everything was entertaining, but they had the foundation to keep you wanting to go from hour to hour to the conclusion. Gentlemen, I have decided to kind of group everything into segments instead of going into the order of how it happened. So hopefully the show flows a little bit better.
What do you do surprised. I feel like we're in segments either way.
Well, whatever. You know,
I feel like nothing's changed. In the 15 years of this podcast, I feel like you've done the structure of we're going to put everything into the segment. We're going to talk about Raw.
So, to answer Chris' question in the chat room, do I need porn to have a storyline? I do actually prefer a storyline in my porn. I prefer it to take place, you know, where there's a reason why these people are fucking, not just, hey.
Ooh, there's your
Yeah, I mean, hey. You know, call me Mr. Romantic in this situation, but I like a story. You know, fuck that shit. Who
I am context. You'll just be you also need some random dude who can pull it out his dick.
Yeah,
like, hey, there you go.
Yeah, it's just I like hey, Mr. Officer, you were speeding. Oh, but I could get out this ticket, right? Yeah, you know, I need to get to the before you get to the boom, bum. So Randy Orton started off Monday Night Raw because he wanted to celebrate his victory over Edge, and he thanked him for reigniting the flame and reminding him that he was a legend killer.
Before we go further, I gotta ask another question about the porn with the story.
Okay.
How long into the porn of the story does it take for you to go like, man, they better start. This is going on too long.
It's like watching a movie, Marcus.
I've been watching this for 25 minutes and they ain't started nothing yet.
Well, you gotta understand it.
It turns out Eric's watching a rom-com.
I grew up.
Or how about they give you a story that's like 2 minutes long? It was like, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Oh man, wow, that's great. And then they start. Does that like take you out of it?
No.
There's more questions to this.
That is
like,
purpose.
Oh man, that was only 2 minutes of story. I'm out.
You gotta understand. I grew up in the age of skinner mats and stuff. So you know, like it would be like you at least be 15 minutes in before they got to doing that little safe, you know, action that they were doing. So yeah, you know, I prefer a little bit of story in my action. You know, a little bit of spice. 15
minutes is your time of like, yeah, I need this to be about 15 minutes before they start.
You know,
I just want to know if there's a bit more story. How much story is there that you gotta go like, that's good.
So
I continue to watch this.
I mean, about 5 to 10 minutes, I guess. See, this is where Ryan would come in because Ryan knows, you know, all the storylines and things of that nature. You know, it is what it is, man. Everybody has
Ryan seems like a guy that's all about let's get it going.
No, Ryan.
Hey, stuff.
Ryan knows about
go.
Fake Taxi. He knows about Fake Taxi. Ask him about Fake Taxi.
Everybody knows about Fake Taxi.
Yeah, you know, that's the story.
Everyone knows about it, but why are we talking about it right now?
Because that's a great example of a story. Marcus I was talking about Randy Orton. Marcus had more questions about porn. I'm just saying.
I just thought it was funny. I'm like, how much story do you need before it like, I don't know. I'm not buying this.
By the way, this is Chris's fault. I just want to point out this is Chris's fault. We're talking about this.
I'm gonna get back on track. So Randy Orton was reminded.
I'm keep us on track. I just had that question. I don't know why.
Randy Orton was reminded by defeating Edge that check it out, Wes. Fake Taxi is the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen in your life.
There's also fake hospital, fake agent. Enjoy yourself.
Yeah. Fake DMV.
Hey,
treat yourself.
Treat yourself, my brother.
A little high over there. Your skirt's a little high. Is there some way you can take me?
Excuse me, man, but can I ask you a question? Are those tits real? Because they're like that's how it starts.
I mean, what are these cameras for? Don't worry about it for security reasons.
And yes, and yes, it's English people with the fake taxi. It's never. Anyway, so this really got derailed.
Why are you holding up some pills? What's going on here?
This show is derailed. Eric and his opioid crisis in his own room.
So Orton came down. He was there.
Oh, so we're glossing over the pills now, are we?
I feel like
I just grabbed stuff.
Sounded like a porno entrance.
So
like you're reading the screenplay of a porno. So Orton comes down, right? And then what happens, Eric?
At that point, Christian comes down to the ring, and you know, he's upset because he feels that Randy took things a little bit too far. But then Randy said, "You know what, bitch? Let me tell you something. You just jealous because you couldn't have a match." Marcus, do you think Christian was jealous that he couldn't have a match and Edge got his final farewell?
I think there's a little bit like I don't know the man, but I feel like there is underlining jealousy about that. Like it seems like every wrestler wants that conclusion. They want to write their story and have an ending to it. If you watch the Last Ride documentary, that's what it's all about. Undertaker looking for his perfect ending, which he's never going to get.
He's not.
His perfect ending is technically the closest thing he got to it was Roman Reigns, but he thought it was such a shit match he had to come back. That's where we're at right now. And it ended there. And everybody's like, I'm happy with the ending there. But he's like, nah, man, nah, homie. One more.
Now, with that being said, Christian was accused of being jealous that he couldn't have his final match. And Randy, being the gracious individual that he is, decided that he will offer him up another match. It's just that it would be unsanctioned. Manny, were you excited to hear the potential of an unsanctioned match taking place between Randy and Christian in this,
Are we talking about this as a whole, or are we just talking about the segment as it is?
No, we're going, after we thought, we're going to move down the list of all the influences that Christian got.
Okay, so, yeah, but part of me was like, oh, he's just going to say no in the end. Like, his mind's going to tell him, no, you can't do this. You're gonna chicken out, and then the initial thought was like, Randy's just gonna beat him up anyway.
I mean, then like we go later on to the night, Christian is mulling over this, and then we're gonna talk about Big Show played one of the worst roles and the worst instigators of anything. Like he could care less about Christian's health. I mean, pretty much he told Christian, you can't be no bitch in this situation. If Randy came at me like that, I would knock that snarky smile off his face. And at that point, Christian knew what to do. Marcus, do you agree with Big Show egging Christian on?
I don't understand why Christian considered Big Show a reliable source in this. Clearly, the Big Show has turned heel and face too many times where I can't trust him. And so I would not accept anything he said. He needs to be talking to his wife and his kids about this scenario of I'm about to risk my life and fight potentially one of the most dangerous people in the world.
Who just put my friend on the chef. And sent him back to Ruby, Lyric, and Beth. Now, Manny, Marcus points out that Big Show was not the best person to get advice from, but Christian showed that he was obsessed with this whole idea of fighting, and he even listened to a little bit from Ric Flair, which made absolutely no sense. Ric Flair was an evolution with Randy Orton. Why would you even entertain Ric Flair with any type of advice?
Well, as I said on the Manny and Marcus show on Tuesday, Ric Flair wouldn't listen to even Ric Flair. Ric Flair of the past would not listen to future Ric Flair because Ric Flair does what Ric Flair wants to do. And I don't think Ric Flair is the guy. But if anything, Ric Flair would be the one that knows Randy and be like, you shouldn't be doing this. And he was speaking sense to Christian, but Christian didn't want to listen.
Didn't want to listen. I think. Go ahead, Marcus.
No, go ahead.
No, because
I've already talked.
Oh, okay. Because I thought you might want to add something else with the Ric Flair aspect.
Oh, I do. Oh, you're moving on from that? Oh, so Christian did the thing that most people would do. If Ric Flair gives you advice, do the opposite. Because Ric Flair has never made a good decision in his life.
That is a fair observation. Now, my favorite aspect of the whole entire storyline had to be when Chuck decided to interview Randy Orton, and then Randy Orton decided to interview Chuck. And he asked Chuck, do you think Christian is a legend? And I love this aspect because it's just that little extra bit of seasoning. Because if she would have said, no, I don't think he's a legend, I don't know if Randy would have wasted his time with Christian. Because he is the legend killer again, and he's going out there to kill legends. And if Christian is not considered a legend, I ain't fucking with him. So Chuck is just as responsible for the death of Christian than Big Show and Ric Flair are. That's all.
Well, Chuck is the biggest instigator in wrestling.
She is.
I mean, she declared Randy Orton Edge to be the greatest wrestling match of all time before they even rung the bell for the match. And so now she's over there like, yeah, kill Christian. I think she's secretly turned a heel. Her smitten with Angel Garza has corrupted her.
It has. And so then we move on to the main event of the night, and it's Orton and Ring and Christian taped up. He's ready to go. And right before the match takes place, here comes Ric Flair. And of course, it leads to Ric Flair giving him a nut shot, leading to a punt kick by Randy. And then next thing you know, Christian is carted off. And for me, the thing that I enjoyed the most is delusional Randy Orton saying, "Why are you here? Why did you even do this? Why did you make me do this?" And I just felt so satisfied with the ending of Christian dying on Raw that it just put me in a happy place because I am a Randy fan. Marcus, how did you like the conclusion of Raw?
That was the greatest TNA champion of all time that he killed. He need to understand that he killed a real legend. He's going too far. What I like about it is that, one, I thought, it gave people hope that Christian was cleared to wrestle again. But this was more proof that Christian is not cleared to wrestle, and they were able to basically do a match without them ever touching each other or Christian taking a single bump. And I want to say bravo to the people who decide we can bring the punt kick back because who the hell we got to sell for? We don't have to hit nobody. I can just completely whiff on everything, and the crowd will react like I did it because these people are paid to cheer.
Manny, did you like the ending of Monday Night Raw?
So, to add a little bit extra to this was they released a Twitter video when Raw went off the air. So Randy was talking to the EMTs, and then it's like, "Can I help you guys? Can I help you get him out of the ring and all this stuff?" And then make matters worse, I think, which was the most. If anyone did this to me, I'd be so offended. So as I'm being laid out, Randy put his ring jacket on top of him, as almost as if he was to wake up and be reminded, like, "Oh shit, that did happen. I got knocked the fuck out by Randy Orton."
Because you have to put that smell of Randy on him. It's like a cologne. Let me bathe you in the smell of Randy. This is that is Randy's
called
sweat.
Venom, Eric. It's called Venom. It's the Viper's Venom.
Were you talking about porn again, or are you talking about wrestling?
We have moved past porn, people. We're past that.
Not when it's talking about wrestling. Not oiled up men rubbing on each other.
You took it to a very weird place.
You can have that. So that was one of the stories that took place, the Randy Orton saga. The other saga, which it's very nice seeing a champion highlighted on Monday Night Raw, it involved MVP Lashley, R-Truth, who is a champion in his own right mind, who will be getting a game show on the network that both Marcus and I are very excited to watch, and Drew McIntyre. It starts out with MVP and Lashley in the ring, and MVP is pointing out obvious facts that 13 years, Bobby has been scratching and clawing to get that opportunity, and that damn Lana came down and crushed his dream because she was selfish, and she was told to stay in the back. Manny, was MVP preaching truth? Did Lana really ruin it for Bobby Lashley?
Well, what I feel like you also left out was how rude he was to the other white woman before he started talking about Lana.
She need to mind her own damn business. They were having...
I won't be. To be honest, Eric, I wouldn't be surprised if allegation about MVP came out.
Oh,
the way he spoke to that woman at the back, and then the way he spoke about Lana. How dare he call her a thought like that? just like that. Like he didn't even pause to think about what he was going to call her. It just flew right out of his mouth, like he knew what he was about to call her. That was premeditated.
That was the biggest slur in wrestling history. It felt like, oh, he went after her. But MVP is doing whatever man is doing. He's telling the story of America right now. He's telling the story of America. Whenever he says 13 years, Bobby Lashley haven't got a title shot, that is 400 years of slavery, I feel like I'm getting the way he says it.
But I thought the story even got better when Lana came down to the ring because we found out some very interesting facts about Bobby's and Lana's relationship. First, Lana dyed her hair brown for Bobby Lashley. Didn't know that was a requirement of Bobby that I needed to have me a brunette. But my favorite line was from Lana. If she wanted to be famous, she would have slept with Drew McIntyre. Right then and there, I would have whooped her ass. And I don't condone violence on women, but she kind of went too far. Am I right, Marcus?
Yeah, when the segment started, I was thinking, like, someone needs to call the police right now. This is what needs to happen. Or she's going to call the police. It was not going to end well for Bobby, MVP, or Lana. Somebody was going to get, like Mark Henry Sugg said, somebody was going to get their ass whooped. Because this was very messy. He went out there like a gentleman after MVP called her a thought and asked for his divorce. And I thought this was a long time coming.
Then it further developed into another story where it became the tag match, but the tag match had both titles on the line, the 24/7 and the WWE Championship, which was a very interesting situation because, like, damn, this is how Drew gonna lose his title in this tag match? And to make matters even worse, Truth went and he spoke to some individuals and he got his title off the line where it was just the WWE title on the line. Marcus, you gave me good logic behind of how he convinced management to not make his title be defended. Explain to the world what you came up with.
Well, it's simple. Whenever the 24/7 title is in a regular wrestling match, they always say the 24/7 title is, or defending of that title is paused for that time being. So that would be my argument. And I believe that's the argument he presented. And he left Drew high and dry. And I feel like, Eric, as we come full circle of doing 15 years of the show, that this was payback for the years when Drew McIntyre beat the garbage out of MVP when they had that blood feud on SmackDown all those years ago. And this was the payback when he was going to cost him his title once and for all. R-Truth knew what he was doing, and I respect the game. But I do blame Lashley and MVP for not winning this title. It's evidence show that all you have to do is roll up R-Truth and you beat him. I don't know why they didn't go for that roll up at least once.
Well, R-Truth was under the impression that if he beat Drew too, he would be the championship. I think one of my favorite things about this whole entire segment was so useless. It's just that when the ninjas, Tozawa and his ninjas rolled up on R-Truth, and R-Truth was ready to fight because, his title was always on the line. No one put the stipulation. But then the ninjas realized that Drew McIntyre was in the back, and they walked away. Once again, still proving that the ninjas and Tozawa are smarter than the Dark Order because they know when to fight and when to run. Manny, do you have anything to add to that?
If we're talking about the ninjas, as mentioned on Tuesday, that word is far too close to another word that no one should be saying. And at some point, I don't know which person's going to do it. I think it's going to be Samoa Joe, and he's going to accidentally say it.
I think it's going to be Byron Saxton.
Byron Saxton's too white to say that.
Yeah, but I think that's what he's going to say. Big ninja. Oh, I said it.
The match ended with a Claymore to MVP. Drew then tosses the Truth on top of MVP for the win. We also, I forgot to mention earlier in the night, Bobby Lashley said a few words to Lana that he wants a divorce. I thought this was a very... You did? Oh, I don't remember you saying that. But needless to say, I thought this was a very tight, compact story that was really drawn out throughout the night. And I thought the two major stories for Monday Night Raw, the championship and Randy Orton, really got me through Monday Night Raw. Some other things happened on Monday Night Raw that was also like good low-level stories that really took place. One of them was Seth Rollins, who invited Rey Mysterio to show up because he wanted him to thank him in person. But Rey was not cleared, could not come. But Dominic answered on Twitter that he was going to be there against Rey's wishes. And then Seth outlined his plan that he wants to help Dominic and he needs to be a part of the future and the greater good. And he should join him in the Monday Night Messiahs group. Marcus, Dominic showing up, we're usually the most energetic and elated people about this. We went crazy on that Friday Night SmackDown episode. Marcus, did you think Dominic was going to show up? And were you disappointed when Dominic showed up, what he actually did to Seth? Did you want him to do more?
So I had some time to reflect on this.
Okay.
And Seth was on his knees and he was talking to Ray, and we were waiting the Dominic appearance. I was waiting the beatdown for the most part. And then so Dominic comes out there and he slaps Seth in the back of the head and he runs away. What I come to the conclusion is that if I was rich, I would probably do the same thing, in which I would just catch a flight just to slap somebody in the back of their head and walk and run away. Like, that's all he did. Like, that was an expensive flight from San Diego to Florida in the middle of a pandemic just to slap Seth Rollins in the back of his head, basically. I think he had landed some other shots, but he had no intention other than, oh, God. This is worse than the time when Matt Barnes drove 90 miles to beat up Derek Fisher. And you know what? He succeeded. Dominic looked good. He looked spry for a young man. And I look forward to him joining Seth Rollins in the future.
Do you know what I need to ask about this whole thing? Like, how did he get into the building? Like, did he sneak into the building? Like, surely someone would be like, "No, Dominic, you can't come in here."
He must have broke. He put on Twitter that he was coming. Someone let him in. I mean, it makes sense for me. I mean, it's not like they have the best security in there. I mean, the ninjas keep getting in for no good reason. Who let the ninjas in?
That guy that got shot.
Dude, that dude is crazy.
Him and Dominic both. When they were like intruders invading the performance center, I was like, damn it, Dominic. no, it was just a crazy dude.
I'm about to put a thing that Wes posted. He put it in the chat room. Ray don't follow Dominic on Twitter. How he didn't know that Dominic was showing up. I don't know. It just didn't make any sense for me the whole time.
Dominic is a grown man.
Yeah, but why? I mean, if Dominic announced that he was going to show up on Raw via Twitter, Ray should have known and canceled Dominic's credit card, because I know he's still living off of Rey Mysterio's money.
Well, Ray knew via Twitter. He knew. Ray knew on the show. It's nothing he can do. He can cancel his credit card. You don't know what Dominic's life like. He may have his own money. And by me, he has his own money. He has his own money. I
want to point out, Marcus, that you were downplaying the attack that Dominic, he did throw some punches on Seth Rollins.
I know.
Manny, if you were the leader of the Seth Rollins group that we really don't know, would you be extremely disappointed by the fact that you tasked Theory and Buddy with the task of finding Dominic, but they didn't find him, let alone they allowed him to get slapped upside the head? Would you look for new goons?
I'd be furious. You'd be questioning what goons are left on the Raw roster. That's the real question, because his original goons, they're not around anymore.
Yeah, the muscle's gone. The AOP is gone, as they always disappear. I don't understand why he can't keep one of the AOP. If one gets injured, why do they both gotta go away? Why couldn't he just keep Razor or Toka or Aka? Kind
of like how we have one of the Usos on SmackDown, like just one Uso's there.
Yeah, like we get Jeff Hardy without Matt. It makes sense. So Bubba without Devon. It makes sense. I
mean, I thought this was another good low-level story that kept the show going. One of the stories that I didn't care too much about, but we need to speak on it, is the fact that it was the Viking Prophets going against the Ninjas. Needless to say that they finally figured out how to settle their stalemate with the assistance of the Big Show, because the Big Show saved them from the Big Ninja, and he just pointed out, man, y'all should just have a tag team championship match next week. I'm just upset with this whole storyline, because I'm like, there's nobody in management that could tell these fools, hey, just fight each other in the ring for this title. Like, what took them so long? And then on top of that...
Well, clearly, they don't have Adam Pearce.
That is true. And on top of that, according to reports, the reason why Bianca Belair is not on television is because of this storyline. Manny, are you happy that this is coming to a conclusion, possibly next week?
You know it's not coming to a conclusion. That's the real problem. You know it's not. And I may have displayed my displeasure about this whole segment on Tuesday, where I didn't actually watch the Greatest Match Ever live, because this is what preempted it. This was what came before it, and it made me turn off my TV and go to sleep, because I had work that morning, because it was 2 a.m. at that time. So I watched the Greatest Match Ever the next day in time for the show. However, and then I was ready to cut ties with both teams had they not had Big Show. If Big Show didn't say anything, we wouldn't even had a tag match for the titles. So I was ready to cut ties and never talk about those two ever again. Ever again.
Were you going to refer to them as those people, as Marcus did for so many years, to those other people?
Yeah, and I don't think it'd be that offensive because it's a white team and a black team.
But you're Filipino!
And often somehow get confused of either being Colombian, Mexican, and sometimes a light-skinned black person, which I never understand. But I accept it, and I appreciate being called
Manny,
it.
being a light-skinned black person, you kind of remind me of Ryan when he was younger, when he was a little bit lighter. So I can see that.
Well, me and Marcus get called twins on the Tuesday show.
That's just because you guys are both plus size and you bald-headed. That's all that is.
We're bold and beautiful.
So now we're triplets. Marcus, you have some stuff to chime in on the Profits and the Viking Raiders.
Manny is underestimating how much he hated this this union. He was fuming about this, and for me, I enjoy these segments. I don't want them to go. I enjoy the fight they had in the parking lot of the Performance Center, in which they're using force powers and Big Ninja show up with Tozawa. And just nonsense. Dawkins crashing somebody. Dawkins looking impressive, crashing somebody through a window. But it does need to come to a head in a wrestling match. And I don't think we're going to get this next week. And Manny's going to be even more disappointed. The fact that this is why Bianca Belair isn't on TV makes no sense to me. She doesn't have to be connected to this.
But like, she is because they've already like made connected the dots that these two are married. So
is Seth and Becky, but they totally ignored that.
Seth and Becky are just engaged, Marcus. They're just engaged. They had a baby in sin.
They disconnected. They totally disconnected it.
I'm with Marcus in the situation. I enjoyed the ridiculousness of the Profits and the Raiders match at Backlash. I didn't understand why so many people were upset, because in so many ways it was the cool down match before the greatest wrestling match ever. And you could have went and took a piss and no one would have cared. And the fact that so many people watched it just out of spite, I felt like they accomplished what they needed to accomplish. Like, I'm okay if someone watches this show and hates everything that we do out of spite, because I still get the view. That's just who I am. I'm a son of a bitch like that.
Well, you know, I never thought about it being a cool down match. I didn't think about it. It was.
Eric, you're forgetting one thing. This is why it pissed me off so much. It was 2 a.m.
I mean, yes, it's hard out there for people in the UK. It was what? 6:30 for me and Marcus, as we had just got finished eating some food and just sitting there and dealing with Ryan. Because Marcus and Ryan decided to be twins wearing green shirts for some reason. I still don't understand what the hell.
Fucking fault.
I don't know what happened.
I just wore my green shirt. He walks out his room like, well, I'm Ryan and I'm gonna wear my green shirt. And
why are you giving the Cameron Grimes voice?
Manny, I'm gonna let Mark.
If there was ever a wrestler that lived the life of Ryan, it's Cameron Grimes.
And Manny, I agree 100% right there. There is no Ryan is Cameron Grimes. He is. If he take off his shirt, he's gonna make you want to scratch. That's how he makes you bleed itchy. And he a freeloader, man. He a freeloader. Shout out
to. And I'm gonna flat your tires in my underwear, my little boots.
I'm gonna call you an Uber.
All right, so Kevin Owens beats Angel Garza because Andrade tried to interfere. It didn't happen. Selena Vega walked out, then walked back out and told them that, you know what, you guys need to get back on the same page and we need to start fighting together. Manny, where are they going with Zelina's faction? They were the hottest thing in WWE during the pandemic era, and now they're being somewhat washed away.
I think Vince is a hard-on for Garza, so I think Garza's gonna move away, and because Garza can speak better English, so he doesn't need a mouthpiece. So Andrade is gonna stay with Zelina, and I don't think Zelina's gonna add anymore. I don't think there is anyone other than I said I was gonna learn the name of this trio, Escobar's trio, but I can't remember what it is. Unless she starts pulling from there, but I don't think it's too early to pull from there.
Well, I think Escobar is the strongest of the bunch, and then for reports that I read said that
Bunch.
Yes, I said bunch. Andrade is in line for a face turn, which I don't quite understand how he would be a face. Marcus, are you disappointed to see Vega's crew being dismantled?
I am in a bit, but I understand that Garza needs to be on his own. Like he's the star of the group. I mean, other than Vega, Selena does her job. And to be fair to the segment, the most distracting thing in this segment is Selena Vega's outfit, the cape and the whole like
M. Bison look.
Yeah,
M. Bison.
It was very supervillain, anime supervillain look that she chose to use, and she was completely distracting. And I think it's time for them to break up. Andrade as a face, whatever. I feel like he's getting lost in the shuffle of all the people and the new talent. And I think he's talented, but his mic skills are so bad that you really can't do too much with him. Well, I feel more lost in this is Kevin Owens, though.
I mean, Kevin Owens on TV,
he's never coming back again.
But I think he has quarantined himself ever since oh damn, I did forget to talk about that story. So if you guys wanted to hear about one of the performance people testing positive for COVID-19, go back and listen to the Manny and Marcus show that took place on Tuesday where they touched on that.
Touched on it like Jim Cornette and his wife.
Speaking of somebody not talking much, we had another match. We had Apollo Crews and Shelton Benjamin. What I really liked about this matchup was the involvement of MVP giving pep talks first to Apollo Crews, letting him know, hey, congratulations, but don't burn out. After having those words of wisdom, we get to the match where Shelton and Apollo are trying their damnedest to get this United States Championship. First, Shelton tries to cheat, couldn't get his feet on the ropes, and then Apollo holds the rope. Marcus, are you enjoying the possible turning of Apollo and maybe the linking with MVP?
I'm not confident he's going to turn. Even though he gained some dark side points, I don't feel he's 100% going to turn. I feel like he's going to backfire at MVP. But I need him to join MVP. Apollo is not there on the microphone. And I need this new version of the Nation of Domination. With
I don't
MVP,
even think it's
or
the
a new
Nation of
version
Domination.
of Beatdown Clan.
I quite like it being the Black Evolution.
Wow, that is a name. That is a very powerful name. And I'm for that name. The Black Evolution needs to happen. Apollo, MVP, Lashley. Hell, you can throw Shelton in there if you want.
If you know, I'm very bad with names, but I would call them the Uprising because they're finally rising from the darkness and they're getting to the light. But that's just me.
No, Black Evolution works better.
No, because you can't say Black Evolution. You don't point that out.
Why
not? Manny, were you shocked that Apollo cheated too?
No, I think it's just signs that MVP's got in his head, and more reason for him to align himself with MVP and then eventually Bobby Lashley.
Now, there's only two things left to talk about on Monday Night Raw, and to me, it's the two most pettiest things that took place on Monday Night Raw, and it involved a lot of the women on the show. The first was the Iconics. The Iconics was full of hell. They came out. They called out the tag team champions, and I was like, man, the tag team champions ain't there. And I was like, but they called them out. Come to find out, Bayley and Sasha was there, and they just refused to come out. And when they came out to celebrate Bayley's birthday, the Iconics came out, and then they slapped Sasha, and then next week we're getting a match. So I guess the Iconics got what they wanted, but I don't know, Marcus. We like the Iconics, right?
I love the Iconics. Iconic. They're the best women's tag team to have ever existed. And they have to beat Sasha and Bayley, who are on one this week. They were on every show, and they were just talking shit, and Bayley cut a birthday cake in her head on her birthday. I don't know who faded her up like that, but she needs to fire the barber. I'm just saying that someone needs to beat these women up.
Mark, if you follow Bayley and Sasha on Instagram, you will show that she keeps getting different designs cut into the back of her head each week. So this is her gimmick right now. But needless to say, Manny, I would ask you about the Iconics, but I want to ask you about something else that was a little bit the other petty thing that took place tonight on Monday Night Raw, and that was the match between Asuka and Nia Jax, where Nia Jax shoved the referee. The referee was going to proceed to disqualify Nia Jax, but then Asuka scored a schoolgirl, and he fast counted Nia Jax. Manny, if you're the referee in this situation, I know you and Nia have not seen eye to eye for a long time. Would you have rather disqualified her or fast count her and screw her out of the victory?
Fast counter, because a disqualification, you have some leeway. You go, oh, I got disqualified. I could beat you in a regular match, but there's a result if you get a 1, 2, 3. Whether how fast or slow there is a count, there is a result. So I if you want to fuck with me, I'll fast count you. I'll fast count you very quickly. 1, 2, 3.
My whole thing about this is that the fast count, I felt like you guys are missing the point of why he did it instead of the DQ. The DQ, it's all about the pay window. And when do you hurt people? Their wallet. Nia Jax's wallet was hurt because DQ, Asuka wouldn't have got full pay window money. But a 1, 2, 3 or a submission, full pay window money. And that Nia Jax has to live with that. That Asuka's getting full pay window money.
See,
because of that.
I find that you, Marcus, you looking at a pay window, and then Manny's looking at a pettiness. I'm just looking at it this way. The referee screwed her even more because now that Asuka has a clean victory over Nia Jax, she goes back to the bottom. There is a new number 1 contender. It should be. I mean, unfortunately, it's probably going to be Charlotte. And Chris,
Charlotte got title shot Monday.
Yeah, it's been announced.
Yes. So I don't know with Chris, who hates Charlotte and Nia, who would he rather see in this situation?
If Nia interrupts this match again, I'm flying to America with a harpoon gun and I'm taking out Nia Jax.
Manny, first of all, you're a host on the show, so we can't condone that because they're going to call us accomplices. Second, if you got that much money to buy a harpoon gun and a plane ticket in this COVID time, you should donate to the show at thesharpshooters.com. Click that donate button and help us with some money to help feed our kids that we don't have yet.
I feel like the harpoon gun, you better not miss.
No.
Because if you shoot a harpoon gun, you got one shot, basically. And if you miss, I believe she's going to come at you. Or if not, have the whole roster come at you.
I may be big, but I can outrun Nia Jax.
But also, you have to point out that we already told you.
Somebody's going to hunt you down.
No, we already told you that you look like Ryan, so you know the police is going to be looking for you because you, as a black man with a harpoon gun that shot a woman who might have been a whale. I mean, it's just gonna be really bad right then and there. I'm just saying, I mean, that was really fucked up. I apologize, Nia, if you listen to the show. Please come.
It's coming right for us.
Please come on the show, and I will apologize to you in person.
You ain't shit. You a dog.
Speaking of not being shit,
Jimmy Havoc.
Speaking of not being shit and Jimmy Havoc, let's move on to All Elite Wrestling. All Elite Wrestling, and this is the show for me that really sparked my whole narrative or in-ring action because I felt like watching AEW, I had no reason to be watching this show. Shit was just happening for no goddamn reason. And yes, I had to cuss. Beat me if you need to. Oh, wait, you can't beat me because I am the person in charge of the panel. The first match was Adam Page, Kenny Omega going against Dustin Rhodes and QT Marshall, who are not even ranked in the top 5 of the tag team contenders in the AEW rankings.
I told you the rankings aren't going to matter, Eric. Stop bringing up the rankings. They don't even bring up the rankings anymore. Or they kind of do.
They bring it up, Marcus, they brought it up in the main event when they pointed out that the best friends were the number 1 contender. If you the best friends, I got to be upset that these motherfuckers right here, well, maybe you're not upset because maybe if Dustin and QT Marshall got that win, it's an easier victory for you. I don't know. I just felt like the first 2 segments had too much Cody involved in it for me, and I hated every second of it because I think it's too much Cody on the show. With that being said, I thought
Cody had nothing to do with this match.
Yeah, but he's Dustin's brother. No, Marcus, actually, because the announcers did praise Cody Rhodes for getting QT's Marshall career on track. despite the involvement of Allie in this situation, which is what been a 3-week romance. Also, we had the distraction of Britt Baker sending notes to Shivani, which was quite entertaining, but it was really taken away from the match. Oh, that's your brother hollering, huh? And then
no, that's the neighbors.
Oh, overall, for me, I did not hate this match. I just thought the announcers' hates toward.
That was so loud. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought it was right. You guys gotta learn how to focus, man.
Well, I forgot to close my window.
No, it wasn't a bad match. The hatred towards Allie made absolutely no sense to me. Why? And she can't come out there and support her boyfriend because she has more relevance being at ringside than Brandy Rhodes. And then seeing Dustin and QT Marshall doing a bunch of flips, this match it was fine, but it just was out of context for me. Marcus, I'm going to go to you first since you have people hollering, waiting to hear your voice.
Well, in a few minutes, guys, just to be Marcus on the scene, I'm going to have to go give an interview on who got knocked the F out right now because I think they're going to fight. And there's more important things happening in QT Marshall. But I thought this match was okay. The only thing I hate is the bastardization of a Canadian destroyer. As soon as someone does a Canadian destroyer, you automatically go into this 2-star category on a person that doesn't even like to use stars. But I will commend Dustin Rhodes for completing this match, even though I believe he was concussed very early on.
Manny, do you have any insight on this match, or was it just happening?
I felt like this might have been my favorite match on the card this week. Mainly because the rest just seemed so. I don't even know how to describe the rest of the night on AEW.
I mean, I will point out this was the most solidly booked match ever on the show. I just felt like maybe they didn't deserve that tag team championship match, and the announcers just berating Allie it didn't sit right with me because Allie hasn't done anything but show that she loved QT Marshall. And if we only take Brandy's representation that, that she's no good, it's just the fact that she's jealous. That's what we all know what it really is. Brandy is jealous. Moving on. So we got a debut, Anna Jay has been on the show, but Anna Jay got the Cody Rhodes treatment and got a package. She got a package and she says that, you know what? I need to be the star of the show. And I was like, well, shit. She's about to be she got her tap dancing outfit. Manny, were you excited to see the official debut of Anna Jay, although she debuted as a jobber a while back?
Do you know, I was like, who? So I was like, after all the injuries that have plagued their women's division, so you've got Statlander out now as well as
Baker,
the Britt Baker. You've got to bump up the rest of whatever women's division you have left. And I was like, oh, they're bumping her up. And then what came out after her was this, I don't know what this monster was.
Abaddon.
And then
Abaddon!
And the video package was for nothing.
It was not for nothing.
It was for
Abaddon
nothing.
Debuted. The whole thing was to set up for Abaddon to do an upset victory on Anna Jay because she wasn't expecting no shit like that.
It can't be an upset if you're a nobody. It
was an upset because she had a package and she didn't know she was getting a zombie. Okay? She didn't know she was getting a zombie.
She signed the contract. There's contracts being signed. Marcus, I'm sorry. You gave me a package. You sold me a package of Anna Jay wants to be entertaining. That was her goal. I need to be entertaining. Apparently she feels she can wrestle, but she needs to be entertaining.
Well, she was lying about the entertaining part because she slowly went to the Dark Order's orb as soon as she lost. She has no confidence in herself. She had no confidence. She was bouncing back from this. She's like, I'm going straight to Brody.
Now, the
most the quickest Brody's ever gotten anybody. They've been recruiting people for years. It's like I got her.
Well, we're gonna get there, Marcus. But Britt Baker said that Abaddon need Jesus. The question I have for you, Marcus, can you make money with Abaddon?
I mean, monsters are a dime a dozen. If she wants to be the next Su Yung or what's the chick with the hat in TNA? Was it Daphne or something? You could do something with that. I feel there's money in Abaddon.
She just reminded me of a fucked up Nikki Cross. I don't know because
She's better than an Alien.
Wow.
But
I'd
does that
rather have
not?
a zombie than an alien.
So the alien goes down, so they need to bring in a zombie.
That's right.
So this is just the Sci-Fi Network all over again.
But yep, this is ECW back at it again.
But I really thought I thought they were trying to bring realism and not the entertaining back to wrestling. I don't know what they were doing. Also,
that's been gone out the window for years when they started doing stadium stampedes and fighting Matt Hardy, who has telekinesis.
But then this match, they also debuted something that they put on later in the night. It was the debut of the Dark Results ticker, and I was like, I don't think I really need to care what happened on AEW Dark. Like, I don't care. Like, without seeing those pictures, I don't know who these people are. And did that help anything, seeing that ticker? Oh, Manny shakes his head.
Apparently, Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela team together when I was getting that second part of that video package.
Did that happen this week?
No, we didn't get the follow up, man. So
nope.
After Abaddon beats Anna Jay, as Manny alluded to, the Dark Order came down. First, Evil Uno and Grayson hot-shot it straight to Colt Cabana, and they handed him an envelope. I just want to know whose job in the Dark Order is to take the manila envelopes and put the sticker for the logo of the Dark Order on there. Like, how many notices are you mailing out? And can I get one? That's all I need to know.
So why do you want one? Do you define yourself as a loser and need to be brought up by Brody Lee? No,
I want to expose the Dark Order for being false prophets. Because I saw Isaiah Cassidy look over the shoulder of Colt Cabana, but no one interviewed him what he saw. That's what I want to know. And then on top of that, and these why am I holding up my medicine? I'm so upset. In these dark times, I'm sorry, a group of men carrying off a woman who is not that conscious worries me. It worries me. The Dark Order is called the Dark Order for a reason, and that was very nerve-wracking. Huh?
Is that how you saw that?
That's how I saw it, man.
Well, I mean, understand that you can see that way. If you say a half unconscious woman,
she was not conscious, man.
Gang of men with masks on. It does seem a little sketch, but I feel the Dark Order has fit to the category of everybody's doing their gimmick better than them at this current moment. Whether it's Naito and his group, or Seth and his group, or even Santos Escobar and his group. Everybody, all these cult leaders are doing cult leaders better than the Dark Order. And even Uno and Stu Grayson are the goons that they thought
they are secretaries, man.
Going for the belt. They were the number one contender, and they never got the title shot. And now they just walk over to Colt Cabana and was like, "Take some of this, baby. Take this letter.
We licked and sealed this letter for you, baby. We did." Then another match took place that no one asked for, no one needed, and I thought MJF going against Billy Gunn. And once again, the announcer's trying to sell me that Billy Gunn is the hottest commodity, the biggest. Like, they focused on all the negative aspects of MJF, but he's small, he's undersized, and they made Billy Gunn seem like he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and his ain't had a match, and his sons was at ringside. This was just a clusterfuck all over the place, and then it ended with a brawl between MJF, Wardlow, and the Jurassic Express, something that I don't want.
The entire audience here.
Marcus, go ahead. Speak on this, because I didn't know who to go to, because I was just so frustrated.
Billy Gunn, as he was in the Battle Royal and did the Big Show spot, or the Andre the Giant spot, people are jumping all over you can break up of it, has become the Big Show of AEW, Eric. And yes, he's bigger than everybody. He's like 6'7", 6'8", and he towers over everybody. And
I think you're being generous.
I feel like him and Dustin in the ring, in their elder state, are the only two real guys that look like wrestlers, considering size and logic in their matches. And Billy Gunn don't have much logic.
Manny, do you think they're just wasting the time with MJF? Because later on we get a TNT Championship match where I'll talk about that when we get there. But MJF is undefeated this year, but he's stuck fighting either Billy Gunn and I guess next week's gonna be Jurassic Express. It just seems like it's a waste of time.
Well, I think they're stalling because naturally you'd want MJF to be fighting Cody again, but I think they're thinking this is a pay-per-view caliber match, but it's a Cody match, so you could have a pay-per-view Cody match anywhere. He's not going to give you more than a 3-star match.
He's been downgraded to 2.5, man. 2.5.
Well, if you listen to the show on Thursday all the way through, I think Marcus downgraded it to 1 star. 1 star Cody Rhodes.
1 star Cody Rhodes.
Because he's trying to be too much of a star.
Son of a plumber. my whole thing is MJF, I feel like, yeah, he's there, but I still don't feel like he's as wasted as Jon Moxley, who is just there for like half a minute each episode.
That is also true.
He shows up, I gotta say what I gotta say, and then he's off. And I feel like that's one of the biggest stars they have. Something like Kenny was hot when coming out of New Japan, and then you got Mox, as they sell everybody as being the hottest free agent. They captured the hottest free agent at the time, Jon Moxley, and they have done absolutely nothing with him. They gave him the belt and told him to sit in the corner.
Are we glossing over the fact that Hikaru Shida was in the crowd with a title belt this week?
I didn't even notice that.
Does that make
man.
you happier?
I didn't notice that. No.
Oh man!
As a champion,
in the crowd, this time she's holding her toy title.
As a champion, your ass don't need to be in the crowd. You don't sit with the help. You don't sit with the help. She may have been holding
Barbie dolls. She had a toy title. She may as well be me holding a plastic $20 title.
Man, somebody's blowing the horn outside, man. Marcus,
I'm gonna go close the window.
I mean, shit going down. So Big Swole put Baker in the trash. Baker fired her assistant, then rehired her assistant. I just don't feel like I need Britt Baker on my TV since she can't wrestle. I don't know. I just feel like we're investing all this time in Baker and Swole, and you won't get any type of closure to this whatsoever. Am I just being too hard?
You get a match in 8 weeks.
Do you want that match though, Marcus?
I take that match. You know what? They're suffering through like a lack of women that they have to use Big Swole. I feel like they didn't want to they featured her early. She disappeared for some time. Didn't they just had her do nothing for 2 months? They brought her back and they're featuring because there's all these injuries and
Big Swole is probably one of their best talents in the women's division, and they're not using her correctly.
What have they used correctly? Well, speaking of,
I feel like this was all right. I had no problem with Britt Baker getting thrown into the dumpster.
I just feel like there's no ends to the mean though, because like Britt Baker really can't do that. Well, maybe. So now we have to talk about something that I don't want to talk about, but we need to talk about. That is the TNT Championship, and that is Cody Rhodes, because as we know, he has made a match at Fyter Fest, so we had no idea who his opponent was. So I have a couple of questions for you guys that I need to know. Manny, I'll start with you first. Will whoever wins the TNT Championship next, will they be able to pick their opponents like Cody Rhodes, or is just a Cody trait?
I don't think once Cody loses the title, the TNT title is going to be defended weekly. I think this is just a Cody thing. So I think you're going to have more build up to matches, which makes more sense. Because, like, you can only do this, I'm going to have a title match every week stuff for so long before you start requiring a story going into it.
Well, I thought for me, when they were announcing the rules of the match of the TNT Championship, like, oh, this match is only defended with the 20-minute time limit. And I was like, oh, so he might be wrestling every week, but it's once a week for no more than 20 minutes. He doesn't really sound like much of a champion to me. Just saying. Marcus, do you think other people will be able to pick their opponents, or you think Manny's right that he will never lose his title?
Well, I think he's going to AJ Styles it and make sure that people are worthy to get his title shot. He's not going to Apollo Crews or Daniel Bryan when they plan to fight every week. He's going to pick the next champion. Will pick and choose, and his title will be considered just a part of the start of a show or something, and it's not going to be as relevant. With that being said, This was my favorite Cody TV title match so far, or TNT title match.
We're not there yet, Mark.
And
I have more
why
questions.
isn't the belt? Why haven't they fixed the damn belt? They said it's an ugly belt, and they said it was in development, but no one seems to be working on that belt. I find it to be a lie, and they were trying to lie about their ugly ass belt.
I think I may have the answer to that. So after, what was their last pay-per-view? Double or Nothing.
Yes.
So on the media call, Cody was talking about the title, how it was unfinished and everything. But he was like, I kind of like this belt because now it's my belt. So they can't change it mid-title reign. So I think we're going to get a real belt whenever he decides to lose.
So we're talking about the title, and I've been trying to wrap my head around the fact that every time Cody Rhodes comes out, he gets pyro and fireworks. And I came to a conclusion. Do you guys think that he gets fireworks because it's called the TNT Championship, and normally TNT stands for explosion, so whoever holds the belt will get the explosion when they walk out?
Yeah, but he had fucking pyro.
He had pyro before that title.
I'm just trying to justify why he has all this pyro.
I'm okay with Cody having pyro. I'm not okay with Jungle Boy having pyro.
Oh, wow.
Or not Jungle Boy, Marco Stunt having pyro. Sorry, wrong person. There's levels to pyro, and I don't feel like certain people has it. Cody has had it from the beginning. I accept that he has a pyro entrance. I accept Kenny Omega has a pyro entrance, but I will not accept Marco Stunt having a pyro entrance. It takes me out of it every time.
And then my last question about this before we start talking about his match is that he cuts a promo and he's wondering if he's still a member of the Elite or he's even a member of the Nightmare family. But then he hands the microphone to the coach of the Nightmare family. And if you're aligned with the coach of the Nightmare family, then you should have an inside track if you've been booted out of your own Nightmare family. Why is Cody having identity crisis right now when he's already the champion? He got everything that he wanted, Manny. What more does he need?
I don't know. It's a tough one because this promo didn't make any sense, and then the whole fact that he had to throw the mic to Arn as if like Arn was going to justify the nonsense he just spoke, like. And I can't take Arn seriously whenever he speaks after the New Day podcast anyway, so.
Marcus, do you have anything to add in this situation?
No.
Okay. Then I was ready to move on.
I feel like this is one of the problems with AEW is that they don't have, and I know WWE, scripted. They don't have scripted promos, so it would seem like Cody was just going out there and he didn't know what to say, and he was just like, whatever. Here, Arn, take it. He's like, you gotta fight the Stroke Daddy.
So then the announcer tried to sell me some bullshit. And this is the bullshit that they tried to tell me. And they were saying that this TNT championship is more prestigious because it's not just open to people who are employed in the company, but outside people can come in and get a shot at the title. Now, if I'm working at the company and, I'm up for a promotion, and every time I get up for a promotion, they bring somebody else from the outside in that we ain't never heard of that gets a chance to fight for my promotion before I do, I'm going to be extremely upset.
You're a black man in America, Eric.
I know. I got nothing against Ricky Starks coming in trying to take his shot because I've seen him in the NWA. But at the same time, when you have somebody like MJF who is undefeated, when you have Wardlow who's also available, you also have Trip Beretta. There's so many other people that deserve a shot at this title, yet this outsider, Ricky Starks, got this shot. Then on top of that, he got signed to AEW like Abaddon right after the show went off the air. I didn't like this at all. Am I being too hard, Marcus, or am I just in my thinking?
I feel like you're being too hard on the open challenge. It's an open challenge. And it was set up. Arn created this match so Cody could get in better shape for Jake Hager. So I already knew that this was a sparring fight. But it's, I feel you're being too hard. Let it be an open challenge. Let anybody come in. Matt Riddle was on SmackDown this week and went after AJ Styles and was like, I want a title shot. AJ Styles was like, F you, Matt.
But
you rapist.
Oh wow! Wow.
He didn't say that on the show or at all, and I don't agree with those allegations. But I felt like that would have been funny in the promo. I'm just saying.
Manny is massaging his hand, so he must be just chomping at the bit to jump in on this. Were you okay with Ricky Starks getting this title shot?
I want to go back. Let's take a walk back in time.
We're walking back.
So remember when the Murder Hawk made his way into AEW?
Yes.
Nope.
How frustrated Cody was about the Murder Hawk wanting to come for him.
Yes.
And how he was tired of people trying to make a name.
Oh, Manny
of
right
themselves.
there. Manny right there with some points.
Make a name out of make their name out of Cody. Isn't this basically what this anyone can come in and fight the champion and this stuff? So I didn't watch all of NWA Power. There's just too much of wrestling to watch.
Into the fire.
So I don't know much about this Ricky Starks. But this basically contradicts everything Cody said going into that little feud he had with the Murder Hawk.
Yeah, it just comes down to like, who do I think I can beat? Now, Manny, don't get offended. I have a question for Marcus because I thought Marcus and I came to the answer to this question when we was watching NWA. Do we consider Ricky Starks black or is he white?
He Creole. If he's from New Orleans, he's like that. He looks like he's light skinned with the hair. He's definitely Creole.
So he's black. So they got a black.
I'm gonna say he's black. I'm black, y'all. I'm blacker than black. I'm black, y'all. I'm saying he's black.
So who knew?
So he fought 2 black men back to back.
Yeah, just keeping people down. So now
he was a good match. He was competitive. He wasn't a moron like Mark Quinn. Like this was the best match Cody had. There was actually a decent story in this. They gave him a package. I thought it was solid work.
Yeah, but
I am not gonna knock Cody for this match.
But Marcus, this AEW episode told me if you get a package, that means you're losing. I mean, Anna Jay got a package, she lost. Ricky Stark got a package, and she lost. The only person who's ever gotten packages is Cody again. Cody's the only one winning.
You're the man that likes stories in your matches and in your board. Therefore, they gave you a story of a man living homeless. So therefore, they gave you your story to go along with the match, that this may be his one shot into glory because he is a free agent. But I need them to stop calling everybody the hottest free agent in wrestling because 90% of the world has no clue who Ricky Starks is.
Yeah, but that's why you can claim that he's...
never heard of Stroke Daddy.
Well, with that being said, I did not hate the match. I thought the match was fine. I thought Ricky Starks complimented Cody a lot better than Mark Quinn did. It's just that, I felt that there was other people in the company that deserved the shot at the title. Now,
I don't care about those people. They're trash. Manny brought up a good point about Ricky Starks, and I forgot what it was. They signed him.
Was it really that good of a point?
He looks like everybody else.
Yeah, other than him being a person of color, how is he any different to anyone else on that roster?
He's not. He's really not.
And then Marcus went on Thursday to say that he's very good on the mic. But then I also came back with anyone can sound good in a taped environment.
That is also true. Now,
I love you. I know he's fun.
No, I don't, because I'm about to move on, and Marcus is gonna hate what I'm gonna do right now, but I have to do it. And I need to do this. For the simple reason, no one told me that this match of the Superbad Squad versus the Young Bucks would be the last time I would see the Superbad Squad together. Did not know that this was going to be my last match. And if you want to talk about going out on a clusterfuck of a match, this is the match that the Superbad Death Squad, because they already lost Death in their name. They just became the Superbad Squad. And honestly, there was just too much going on in this fucking match. And I felt that AEW in this single match, they buried. And I don't like saying buried. I don't at all. But they buried.
Because you like to say buried.
They buried 2 teams the Super Bad Death Squad, which should have been buried considering Jimmy Havoc is not the man that we thought he was. But they also buried Butcher and the Blade.
They're really cold in past tense.
Bird. And I know you guys talked about this, but I would really like you guys to repeat your conversation that you guys had on Thursday about this match. Manny, I'm going to go with you first.
So I remember basically just saying that out of everything going on in that match, if you ignored all the outside interference, you were kind of having a good match. But then because the outside interference was so all over the place, it was hard to give them the credit that this was an okay match.
Marcus, what about yourself?
This match is the worst tag match I've seen in a long time. Absolute garbage. Everything about it. There were so many spots and moments that none of it made any sense and no logic. First things first, rest in peace, Uncle Phil. Second, the referee
It's a rap
searching. The referee searching Jimmy Havoc and taking the weapon. I'm fine with a referee search. I've always think that somebody should search. Gargano should have been searched in your house. He blatantly put a key under his nuts. But he finds the pliers that Manny is holding right there. And I'm going to take the pliers from you, Manny. Let's see if we can do this 3D. I'm going to take the pliers from you and say, how could you bring this to the ring? And then put it back down in your corner. I felt that is absolutely ridiculous. You don't give the weapon back. Imagine a UFC fight and they say, oh, wow, I found a gun on you. I'm just going to put this right here where you can easily get this later in case you do want to shoot this motherfucker. Because it was ridiculous. It just sat there. So Jimmy Havoc later can apply the pliers to, I forgot which fingers later in the match. Then you have people going for mallets. There's wet paint plaques hitting people that I don't believe can hurt anything. I rather believe this water bottle can knock somebody out before that wet paint thing. And it's a clip for you got the Revival coming out. One of them drinking coffee. The other one's eating a sandwich. You got the Butcher and the Blade dressed in all white. Seem upset about everything. Jumping over the rail. Then the end happens and the Revival's fighting everybody but the Young Bucks, and it was a cluster. They didn't save one of the Young Bucks, as it looked like they intended to do, because the Butcher continued to beat, I'm going to say, Nick Jackson repeatedly. And I had enough of this shit, and the Young Bucks need to get their shit together, because the Revival wrestled the Butcher and the Blade last week, and it showed that they're a superior tag team. That's it. I'm taking my microphone off, and I'm getting up. I had enough.
And then, something else Marcus didn't mention that pissed me the fuck off was the fact that, the Super Bad Death Squad was the stupidest people that somehow they got beat up to complete their own finisher on themselves. Like the Young Bucks got them to a position where all they had to do was kick Kip Sabian in his knee, and he spike pile drive his own tag partner. And I'm just like, that's just so fucking stupid, and it drove me crazy, and I was so upset. Then
but never forced number one contender though.
Then we moved
on. You didn't complain about that.
What?
Before becoming the number one contender for the women's title.
Okay.
He has like one victory.
Well, Statlander is hurt, and Marcus, I don't care. I think I even left that out my notes. That's some things I admit. So we go to a pre-tape segment. And it's a pre-tape segment that Taz and Moxley are both involved in. This is the only involvement that we have of the champions. And literally what I hear from Taz is that he was upset because him and Brian Cage had no intention of working that day, and they were trying to take a nap in their trailer. And then the interviewer came up to Moxley and he started yelling, and that's why they had to come out and confront his ass for making too much goddamn noise. And then the whole time I'm standing, it's like, why did you need to go to this back lot to tell them this? And why the hell was Brian Cage in his underwear standing in the middle of nowhere? This whole segment pissed me off. And then it ended with Mox saying that he is the judge, jury, and executioner. I could care less about none of these MFers in this match. and that's just how I feel. And Marcus, you just got finished ranting, and I know you're a little tired, so I'm gonna let Manny speak on it. Give you a few seconds to collect your thoughts about Mox and Brian Cage. Manny, go ahead.
I don't really care about this either. I was just like, there's not enough done to sell me on Brian Cage other than his looks. Like,
he looks like a fool.
Built him up. Yeah, they haven't built him up that well, and he's already in a title picture. They should have him held that chip for a little longer so we get some idea of what kind of guy he's gonna be, rather than just chucking him in. This is just Impact all over again, where the new guy comes in and he's into a title picture. I'm getting a bit frustrated with that because you don't know anything about him. At least when they were ex-WWE guys, you watched them. Hardly anyone watched Impact to know what Brian Cage does.
So I'm going to translate what Manny just said. Like, I'm upset if you bring in old WWE guys and give them a push for the title. That pisses me off, but at least I know who they are. You can't bring in people I've never heard of and give them a shot at the title and expect me to care about them. Marcus, is that the same did I get the right interpretation? It looks like you're about to fall asleep right now, my brother.
I'm saying. Joking.
Why did what I said need to be translated like I'm speaking a different language?
Because you are, Manny.
Eric, let me translate what Manny's trying to say, Eric. Why did he need to say something?
What's next? You're going to put subtitles under everything I say?
Yes.
But, what I took away is that wrestlers need to wear their pants when they're outside, and I don't understand why everybody at AEW shoots their promos under that freeway. I mean, Brian Cage beat up a man under that freeway. It's literally the exact same package, other than he was in his underwear, in yellow underwear, and he finally got to talk. But I didn't need this segment, and they gave me nothing with the heavyweight title. It's all about the TNT title, and it's all about whatever Chris Jericho's doing. This company could care less about what Moxley's doing.
I mean, that's what it all comes down. It's like, hey, this is the guy who we want to produce and put up. He's the new guy, and Chris has no idea who Brian Cage is, and I'm about to help him out a little bit with this, just because I'm a nice person like this, and let him know. Although it didn't work.
Imagine Wolverine on a lot of steroids and pretty much lacking any kind of common sense. If Wolverine and Scott Steiner had a baby, that's what Brian Cage is.
Huh. I was trying to add a picture, but I can't to show him. But
my problem with Brian Cage is that it looks like he's going to die very young. That's my problem with him.
Wow.
And I don't need to. It does. Like, it seems like he's abused the steroids. The cream
juice.
Or the clear. I
juice.
feel like it's just way too much juice. Like, even Lizzo going like, you got way too much juice on me.
Wow. A Lizzo reference, Marcus. I didn't know that you was in the know.
Really be sleep. I just know that she well, how's the song go?
The juice, man.
She got the juice and she gonna let it loose, right? I forget. I'm not talking about Tupac and Mike Epps. I'm talking about another type of juice. OJ type. Although OJ was clean as juice. I'm rambling.
Anyway, so the main event took place. It was the Les Sex Gods going against the number one contenders for the titles, the Best Friends. And literally, this match took place because last week that, clearly they beat his ass with a thing of oranges. Like, that's what happened. Like, oranges were the main culprit of this match. I really thought that they were gonna mess up and give the title shot to the Les Sex Gods, which is technically not a mess up because I think they're more important to me in the long haul for them to be the champion. But Matt Hardy being on commentary didn't help me at all. Manny, because Marcus looks like he's asleep again. How did you feel about this?
I'm waiting for you to finish talking. You just rambled on for the last two minutes about the second. I don't think they cared. I mean, blah blah blah. I'm like, man, we gonna talk to somebody. Because it wasn't that much to say about this main event.
Because I was trying to multitask and stuff, and I'm not being too successful. So go ahead and talk about it, Manny.
This just happened again, didn't it? this was just a main event that just happened and it ended exactly the way you would expect it to end. I'm getting it's becoming clear that there's a template to booking AEW, and someone just scribbles that, like copies the template, and then it's like, oh, we're done. This is the show.
Well, you're the one that you posted that picture of the coloring book of how they was booking stuff, and I feel like that's what happening. Marcus, the ending had the cameraman trip up the Les Sex guys for the win, and come to find out it was Orange Cassidy. Was this a finish that satisfied you in the long run?
No, the storyline, the best friends are being used. This reminds me of that one Usher song, in which I'm making a bunch of random references just because when he's like, "You make me wanna
leave the one I'm with."
Any lyrics?
You make me want to leave the one I'm with and start a new relationship with you. This is what you do.
This is what you do. This is what you do. They don't give a damn about the best friends. They're just trying to get you to Orange Cassidy. Everything's about Orange Cassidy. And it respectfully so, as you dubbed him, the greatest wrestler in AEW history, Orange Cassidy. But I feel like this doesn't land for me. The match was like subpar. The Sex guys do have call for the title, as I think they might be undefeated, or they have lost multiple times. Who knows? Jericho has the best record in AEW, but never goes for any title. He's just there as an entity. And his match with Orange Cassidy is
MJF has the best record.
MJF does have the best record.
Better than Jericho?
Yes.
I think Jericho
he hasn't never lost.
He hasn't never lost, Marcus.
No, MJF lost early on. He's undefeated for 2020.
That's still one loss.
He lost last year. No, I think he lost like twice last year. Jericho has one loss.
Did you guys?
He was the champion.
Did you guys care about Matt Hardy doing commentating? Because he just didn't belong.
Matt Hardy.
Oh wow.
I kind of just blocked out that Matt Hardy was on commentary.
And so then my last question I have for you guys, and we'll be done with AEW, thank God, is that they keep comparing Sammy Guevara to Eddie Guerrero, and in WWE they compare Angel Garza to Eddie Guerrero. So I need you guys to choose in a quick rapid fire: Manny, Sammy Guevara, or Angel Garza.
Garza.
Wow, you didn't let me finish. Marcus, Guevara or Garza?
Garza and Santos Escobar will be the next Eddie Guerrero. And Sammy Guevara has nothing that reminds me of Eddie Guerrero at all.
But like, JR keeps telling you that.
I know, JR is senile and he's racist.
No, he's not.
It's like comparing every white player to Larry Bird or every black player to Michael Jordan.
Don't they do that though, Marcus?
Or every Asian player to Yao Ming. Jeremy is the next Yao Ming. There's nothing about them that plays the same.
Okay. With that being said, there's only one thing left to do.
Every black quarterback's the next Michael Vick.
We need to leave out of the AEW realm, and we're in the home stretch almost to end this show. We need to jump into the no captain having direction of the NXT show. NXT, the first hour of NXT really had absolutely no direction. It really was shocking when I was watching this episode of NXT because I never knew NXT to be this way. It started off with a tag match of an unestablished tag team champion, Imperium, Fabian Aichner, and Marcel Barthel, my boys, going against Breezango, who decided to come down to the ring dressed as Imperium.
Emporium.
Emporium. Yeah, Emporium.
You get it right, all right? Fabian Marsupio.
Now, Marcus, I know in the match between the my mind is going blank. Between when FTR and the Young Bucks and all them and the Death Squad, I know that match you said had a lot going on. This match also had a lot going on because during the match, Ender Sir came down to the ring and also Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch. Marcus, are you going to criticize WWE the same way you criticize AEW for having too much food in the pot?
No, because they were just talking about the tag team division. They didn't have mallets and pliers and the referee being distracted. Like, it's still, the rules of a match were still followed. I didn't feel Breezango and then we're ever going to win this match. But it was a showcase of NXT lackluster tag division, though. It was a showcase. I was entertained by this match. I was entertained by the intro. The Emporium remix to the Imperium song is the best remix I've heard in a long time. It was better than the remix to Ignition.
Damn.
I know how high you held that one up.
Damn.
Yep.
Damn.
Hot and fresh out the kitchen.
Manny, do you agree with Marcus?
I'm rolling that body, got everybody here wishing.
Were you not as critical as on WWE as you were as AEW?
But this was a different thing.
Yeah, this is
This
is completely different to what you saw with the Young Bucks and the now defunct super bad squad. Whereas like this was a showcase of what's to come with the tag division. Over there was just like, yeah, we're just coming out here because we got beef with everyone.
Now, do you agree with Marcus in his sentiment that this was a showcase of their tag division and you weren't delighted with the showcase that they gave you?
I just said that.
Oh, you did?
What?
I was texting, so I was not paying attention. You know.
You're the worst host. Ryan Seacrest has never did this.
Well, because you're not supposed to answer the phone when you're doing stuff. So moving on then, since Manny answered the question I asked him.
Mick McQueen would not do this to me.
Well, that's good. So we go to a segment that was pre-recorded, and I'm not 100% sure if this will even have any follow-up. It's the Dream on the couch, and he was talking about how he feels that he can't challenge for the title, and he's like whatever. And then Dexter Lumis,
little girl after him.
Dexter Lumis came in with some artwork of him and the Dream as the tag team champions, and then the Dream said he's a solo act, baby. If I'm Dexter Lumis, maybe he needs to move away from the Dream. Am I right, Manny?
I don't think I need to say anything else on that, Matt, because that was funny enough.
I feel like Dexter Lumis would be somebody that would be intrigued by the Dream's actions on Twitter. Like, he would be like, oh, you like going after little girls. I like going after little girls. Maybe you can get them. You can meet up and hook up with them. But guess who gets to kill him? Dexter Lumis.
Marcus,
perfect tag team, and we're not going to get a follow-up to this, I don't think.
I don't think Dexter Lumis like going after little girls because he threw Roddy in the trunk.
He like killing. Oh. He like killing people.
The person
I didn't say he cared if they're little girls or not.
The person that I think like going after little girls is unfortunately my boy, who I might have to disassociate with after this week, and that's Cameron Grimes.
I'm Cameron Grimes.
Wow. Just because Cameron Grimes looked like he came from behind a bush taking a shit with no clothes on when Damian Priest rolled up to the scene. I didn't care what Damian Priest was talking about. Seeing Cameron Grimes come out the bushes just made me laugh. Marcus, did you respect Cameron Grimes at this point?
It was very Val Venus of him to pop up out those bushes like, I'm Cameron Grimes. I can hide in the bush because my chest is so hairy, and you just think I'm just a piece of brush on the tree. But no, he came around with his hat. I swore he was naked. I really hope he had pants on. I really did.
So, Damian Priest then made short work of Killian Dane, who we just see every 6 weeks to come up and lose to somebody. And then afterwards, he walks back out to his parking lot and come to find out somebody, we don't know who that somebody is, flattened off his tires. And then in his grandma rent-a-car, Cameron Grimes pulls up to the scenes and laughs at him. Manny, I took a lot of liberty with the car.
You should call an Uber.
I was upset with the car that Cameron Grimes was driving because I felt he should have had the FTR truck. It would have made more sense. Do you think there's enough evidence to link Cameron Grimes to flattening the tires of Damian Priest?
Yep, and I don't know why you need him to drive the FTR truck because that's a classic car, whereas I believe Cameron Grimes is homeless, so he shouldn't be even driving a car.
He should come with the Fred Sanford. Like if he was on Fred Sanford, I call him Lamont. He's the Lamont of NXT.
I fully expect him to be on like a horse and cart or something along those lines.
Marcus, I agree with you, and like I don't think I could defend him because I know the next segment I'm gonna have to defend somebody else, and I'm not even ready to defend this. I mean, Manny's just ready to pounce on it. I can just say the match, and he's gonna pounce on me. But before we move there, what do you guys think about Damian Priest contacting Rhea Ripley's pants designer because apparently he got multiple colors of them pants with the fishnet in there. I don't know if this is the look that Damian Priest should be going for. Marcus, you laughed.
I felt like there was a moment backstage when Rhea Ripley walked by and he went, "Damn, girl," and she turned around, "Excuse me," and he's like, "Those some nice ass pants. Where you get those?" She's like, "Oh, I have a seamstress going on. I'm gonna cop me some of that." And so that's been his story ever since. He's been wearing Rhea Ripley's clothes.
Okay.
They're built the same size.
They are. So
I think she's in better shape.
Rhea Ripley's got a bigger dick than he has.
oh wow.
Oh
Wow. I'm not gonna touch that. I'm just gonna keep on moving. So
I
so-
actually like to do.
So I need to make an announcement. And I know Manny will never let me get off this train, but I just want to point out that my support is no longer behind Xia Li. But however,
You're on a one-way ticket on that train, my friend. You are never getting off that train.
just like Marcus can't get off of Tamina, apparently I can't get off of Xia Li in this situation. And Xia Li was involved in the match that Manny can't get off. That's Aaliyah. But Aaliyah finally got that win after Robert Stone blew Chunks into the ring. And the reason why I'm off of Xia Li's bandwagon right now is because she botched the pin. Why did she kick out when she didn't need to kick out in this situation? You knew you was losing. You knew you was losing to Aaliyah after he blew Chunks. And I just didn't go, Marcus.
This is one of those situations where she lost, I believe she lost complete track of the count. And when she knew she was supposed to kick out after the 3 to make it look like it was really close, but she kicked out at 2 and ruined Aaliyah's first ever win. If I'm Aaliyah, I got words for her in the back. I'm just saying.
Manny,
I'm sure Aaliyah does that.
I know you never wanted Aaliyah to win, let alone be still employed by WWE. Were you upset that Xia Li let her win this time?
Yeah, I was. And then I think Chris wants to do things to Aaliyah, which I don't even want to know what he wants to do. And I don't think it needs to be ever documented.
No.
But I'm glad they're pushing the story of Robbie on his downward trend of a breakdown after losing Chelsea Green. And I'm interested to where this goes, because now I'm thinking Aaliyah's going to have to bring him back up to be the man that he was.
Yeah, it's like, but why does she even need to work with this washed up dude right now? It's just hilarious to me.
Making on Aaliyah is the worst thing anybody can do. I'm talking about bad investments. Bad investments.
Then we got the Timothy Thatcher training session where he's just showing people how to put his armbar. If my coach wasn't gonna beat me up, I might have signed up for this class to learn how to do some submissions. But he looks like he wants to beat you up in the fight pit, and I'm not down with that. Then we had the counseling session of the Undisputed Era trying to help Roderick Strong. At the end of the day, Kyle O'Reilly is being put on camera, but Roddy is beyond help, Marcus. Did you think him being placed in the trunk was the only way to cure him of his fear?
Well, Undisputed Era has no license in medicine or psychology, and their plan was to just throw him in the trunk in the beginning. Why not just kidnap the man and throw him in the trunk? So, I don't think this was a practical method of putting him in the trunk of a limousine. It's better than where he was at in Cameron Grimes' car. But I do feel that I enjoyed this segment, and I got good laughs at him running away to the streets and not being put in the trunk.
Manny, is that the way that you would help your friend that has a fear of being inside of a trunk to fake a psychiatrist session where all the people should not be in there?
To be fair, like the lengths they went to help him out, that shows good friends. Like, their methods may be a bit out there. Like Toy Story, you got a friend in me.
Yeah. But I mean, if Roderick goes back and watches the show, or if his wife tells him what they did, will he be upset? There's so many unanswered questions in this situation.
I think he needs to realize that there's no better friends than the Undisputed Era. If they're trying to get him out of that funk, they're the best people to get it. Some people would just let it slide and let him go crazy.
So,
but this is the most personality Undisputed Era has ever shown other than Adam Cole, right? He's only the one that has shown personality.
Yeah, I mean,
lately, Colorado has stepped up, whether he's dressing up as the Undertaker or being a therapist, has proven to be the second best talker in the game.
yeah, but when you have the effect to lead your men to say your catchphrase in the opening when you come out to the ring, then you know you are a leader in the situation. Because I mean, you have 3 other men yelling out Adam Cole, baby, yelling out his name, yelling Adam Cole. And speaking of Adam Cole, you had a point, Marcus, or you were just making Adam Cole? Boom?
No, I went
Boom.
boom.
Oh, okay. So, Mr. Boom himself came down to the ring. And to me, this is when NXT became a real show. And I had no idea why they didn't start NXT off this way. I just don't. It's like you're starting off with the champion. It would have segued very nicely to the tag team championship match. But we didn't go that way. Adam Cole came out. He talks about he is the longest reigning NXT champion. And now he's thinking about becoming the champ baby by fighting Keith Lee in this situation. Next thing you know, Keith Lee comes out. He interrupts him. Then before Keith Lee can finish his thought, here comes Johnny Gargano, who has had multiple opportunities at titles. He interrupts him. But then the man came out to the ring. The man, Finn Balor. He came out and he said, I don't have to wait in line. And he cut in front of everybody. He was like, Keith Lee, I'm going to beat you for your title. After I take your title, then I'm going to take your title, Adam Cole. Fuck all you people. Then William Regal showed up on the screen, made a triple threat
100%
match.
said that.
I wish he did too.
That.
Fuck all you people.
What a reenactment. That's a Daniel Day-Lewis type action there.
William Regal popped up on the screen. He made a triple threat that will lead into a match that goes against the Adam Cole. There were so much things that we need to talk about in this segment. First, did Keith Lee make a mistake by destroying the hourglass backstage when he saw Adam Cole before he walked out? Because I think he made an enemy in Cross.
Of course he did, and then I'm actually looking forward to that match. So like, I may have said that Keith Lee may win that triple threat and end up facing Adam Cole. I don't think that's happening anymore. I think I forgot about that whole thing on Thursday, but today I think I'm looking forward to a Keith Lee Karrion Kross match.
You know, you might have forgot about that because you have somebody that keeps everything in line for you in order on Saturday. That's what we try to do on this show. Marcus.
Fuck your show.
Marcus, who would you like to see win out of this triple threat? Like, who do you want to see go on to face Adam Cole?
I really don't know. It's so many intriguing matchups. And normally I would like say, oh, I want to see this, but I wouldn't mind seeing any of these matches.
Even
whether
Gargano.
Adam Cole versus Keith Lee, whether Adam Cole versus I wouldn't mind seeing that again. They've only fought like twice, maybe 3 times. I think he threw him off the cage. But I wouldn't mind seeing it again. It's not, it's still a really good match. Like, everybody in that ring is at the top of their game. They're 4 of the most talented wrestlers. And then you have the element of Cross coming in. And I don't know who I want to see fight for the North American title, whether it's Finn Balor or Cross, who saw his a very expensive hourglass destroyed. I really enjoy the title pictures in NXT right now. Yeah, like, it's just so everybody's meshed together.
Yeah, and this is when I really got invested because, like you said, you're thinking about matchups. And in my situation, I think I got to go with Finn in this situation. With NXT UK probably being defunct because of all the allegations and everything going on, we don't know if Finn's going to ever fight Walter. We don't even know if the COVID-19...
Miguel did not kill that company, all right? Trish Seven is still around.
Well, COVID-19 also tried to kill that champion, that company. So we don't know what's going to happen with Finn and Walter. At the same time, Finn taking the North American title and moving on to face Adam Cole, and then losing to Adam Cole, then you have Finn versus Karrion Kross for the North American title. That's how I see it going. I just know I don't want Gargano to win. You have something to add, Marcus, or that was it?
No, you just said my points of, other than the Gargano thing, I don't care. Like, there are no winners or losers in this setup. We're all winners in the end.
I agree. Now, Manny, going to Kaden Carter, because I'm going to let you have her right now. Kaden Carter.
Oh, my official spokesperson for Kaden Carter.
Right now, when she does stuff
I was the Aaliyah guy. He's the Kaden Carter guy. You're Xia Li.
No, I'm not Xia Li anymore. But Kaden
You
Carter.
are Xia. So if you're trying to come off this train. Who you picking?
I pick Kaden Carter when I see her being black. I take the other half of Kaden Carter.
Oh, so wait, I have to keep out. So we've split Kaden Carter.
Yes.
You guys can't split Kaden Carter. You're devaluing with her, okay? With all the comments on Twitter and you guys talk about splitting women, you guys need to calm down.
You're right. That's wrong. That is wrong. Needless to say, Kaden Carter went to a gunfight with a knife. Why did she come down to the ring with her tag team partner, Casey Catanzaro, when she knew Dakota Kai was going to bring the worst dressed big woman in the game, Raquel Gonzalez, who had the fire tube top with the red pants? Worst outfit ever. Casey Catanzaro is not bigger than Raquel Gonzalez's leg. And when she jumped on her, I was like,
it was like a stick insect jumping into a tree.
I just said, what the hell were you thinking, Kaden Carter? And I guess that makes sense why Mercedes Martinez's package played after that. Manny, what was Kaden Carter thinking with her partner?
Well, sometimes you just got to throw a bone to your skinny friend. Sometimes you just got to throw a bone to the skinny friend and make sure they get some money and TV time too.
Marcus, do you agree with throwing that bone to the skinny friend?
Yeah, but I'm going to say Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez is the best women's tag team out there. And I believe the women's tag team division is back. It's deeper than ever. You got tag teams coming from everywhere. I know Kaden Carter and Casey Catanzaro, whatever it goes by, are considered a tag team. But I believe that's the bottom of the division.
All right. And then moving on, Bronson Reed destroyed Leon Ruff. And then he carried him to the back.
No, wait.
What?
How amped was Leon Ruff when he came out?
Man,
I'm gonna get it today. I'm gonna get it today.
You're gonna give me an entrance? I get an entrance today? Y'all gonna respect me.
Let me tell you something.
This is the Leon Ruff show. He came out there, he was clapping, he was slapping things, and then he did his pose of hanging on the top rope upside down. The man was in pure euphoria. He was so happy, and then died 3 seconds later.
Leon Ruff is going the Ascension route where he's little bits. He's just about. First, he was just the man in the ring who couldn't figure out what to do with Aleister Black. Then he became the man in the ring who fought Sheamus and lost. And now he's the man in the ring who got destroyed by Bronson Reed after getting his first ring entrance and then got carried to the back after Bronson Reed became a man and said, fuck you, Karrion Kross. And I know he didn't say fuck you. I will fight you next week.
Yeah, but my favorite thing about the Leon Ruff situation is that Tom Phillips had to bring up his record. Leon Ruff has had it pretty rough going through all the brands and getting his head kicked off. Maybe it would be different for him tonight. And that was either Morrow or Tom Phillips. And it didn't turn out different. There was a second, Eric, though, and Manny, that I thought that Leon Ruff might do something. That went away.
It was the moment he was flipped upside down, I thought he might get a victory today. But then
he got a better record than Killian Day.
Part of me wants him to be in the faction of the Black Evolution. Because if anyone showed any evolution since the COVID era, it's him.
But I think Wes said it the best. Leon was fine, but you should never let another man carry you backstage. It's just one of those things where you have to ask yourself, like, where's my life at in this situation? Why did I let this man carry me to the back?
But that just shows that Bronson Reed's a good guy. Leave no man behind.
And Manny, not only is he a good guy, he is the best guy to feed to Karrion Kross in this situation. Because I feel like he could give him at least somewhat of some offense in this situation, and it should be a good time. Oh, Marcus, no. Mark,
He's gonna get his ass beat.
Wow.
He's gonna get his ass beat. He's gonna land nothing. If Ciampa lands nothing, Bronson Reed is not landing a damn thing.
That could be a possibility too. So then we had Escobar and his crew, Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza, one of my favorite factions. They destroyed Drake Maverick. I mean, I just look at it this way: Drake Maverick should never put his nose in their business. He needs to stop walking out with them when they try to talk shit. Simple as that. I think we should just
He'll
move.
bring his set.
I think we should just move on. Where
I love these guys.
I do too. But we had the.
Can you say their name? Can you say their name?
What is their name?
El Ligo Fantasmas.
Nope. They will always be Santos Escobar, Joaquin Wild, and Raul Mendoza. And you know,
They have a name.
Well, maybe I have to go back to
And a
the...
logo.
Marcus, I'm trying to get you out here so you can go to sleep, sir. Because I see you.
It's too late, man.
So, one of the better tag team championship
in an hour.
matches took place on NXT. It was Bayley and Sasha Banks teaming up to face Tegan Knox and my niece's most hated enemy, Shotzi Blackheart. And, you know, I don't... Manny, you don't understand what happened. So, my wife received a text from her brother saying that his daughter, who's 4, said that she can't wait to get older so she can beat up the lady with the green hair that Uncle Eric walks on TV.
Why?
We don't know. We don't know, Manny.
But maybe this is her.
No. You need to find out, and then the next Saturday show. This is the cliffhanger for you all to come back. Why? Why this 4-year-old does not like her?
Manny,
is it because she comes out and goes, "Who's your daddy?"
No, Manny. I believe there's some genetic racism involved in this, and I don't want to discuss it on the air.
We're all discovering racism.
I don't want.
No, it needs to be said. It needs to be done.
No, I don't.
Maybe she sees herself as Shotzi Blackheart and wants to be a wrestler and doesn't know how to articulate that I want to become a wrestler and that I want to fight her means I want to go against her in a match, not I want to kick her ass.
If Manny reminds me, I will tell him post show, but I just can't.
So this is a show secret.
This is a show secret. After Sasha and Bayley wins the match, the champ Io Shirai comes out and lets them know that she's the champion. I didn't quite understand the whole concept of why Io needed to be there, but I guess it worked. Marcus,
because she's the champion and it's her fucking house. That's why.
I mean that's fair. Marcus, do you agree with it's her fucking house?
It is. It's currently her house. I just felt like it was forced that they just threw her on the show because they haven't put Io on the show since she won the belt. They honestly, I feel like they have no idea what they're going to do with Io at this point. Unless they plan on having her beat up Sasha and Bayley or whatever. Because they're going to be on every show. They're going to Charlotte Flair more than Charlotte Flair.
Who do you think the next women tag team champions are going to be?
Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai.
I would also...
No.
I think...
Iconics!
I don't think the Iconics is going to get that,
You're
man.
right.
I don't think they're going to get it. So, speaking of getting something...
they going to get it.
AJ Styles on Friday. What is Friday? Friday night SmackDown received his championship in a presentation that was fit for a king. Because not only did he decide to invite the entire locker room down there to bask in his glory, but he could not let Renee Young present him with the title. He needed somebody special to present him with the title, and not only present it, but wrap it around his waist. Marcus, I felt AJ went too far in trying to diminish who Daniel Bryan was. How did you feel?
AJ was on one, and as they say on the street, he was on that bullshit. That he invented a celebration for himself. No one else that has won the Intercontinental title has done anything like this. Have a celebration where people have to stand around to watch another man coordinate him by putting on the belt. But he desecrated him. But Daniel Bryan hit the clapback. Fool, you just lost to Drew Gulak 2 weeks ago. You ain't shit. Like that was his rebuttal. That was his clapback. You lost to Drew Gulak. 205 Live, Drew Gulak. And man who probably lost to Jack Gallagher too many times, Drew Gulak.
And he tried to get.
We want to pay more money, Drew Gulak.
And he tried to convince AJ to give a match to Drew Gulak, but AJ wasn't having none of it. And that's when the number one bro showed up on the show, who said, and I quote, he will be the bro that runs the show. And that led into a brawl between AJ and Matthew Riddle, who made his debut. with that being said, I did like the fact that when the match took place, they tried to make it for the title. But AJ said, no shirt, no shoe, no championship match for you. And I agree wholeheartedly with that philosophy. AJ was right.
But who wrestles in a shirt?
Doesn't matter. He had no shoes.
Fighters wrestle with no shoes. I mean, out of shape wrestlers wrestle in shirts. So he's targeting the Ric Flair, maybe your Tommy Dreamers. Who else?
Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin. I'm going to say Shinsuke Nakamura's been wrestling in a shirt for some time with his zip up to cover the belly. Just a few. So, the Usos.
So Manny, in this situation, did you feel this was a good debut and win for Matthew Riddle? I mean, did it showcase who he was?
I think because we watch NXT, we know what Matt Riddle can do. But yeah, like if this is the way you want to bring, this is the correct way you bring someone in. Like not at the top of the card, not in a world title match. You get a win over the champion in a very solid match in front of your peers.
Who?
AJ is the champion. The Intercontinental title is the only title that matters on SmackDown. And I know in AEW, the TNT title is currently greater than the AEW title. I agree that the Intercontinental title is greater than the Universal title at this point.
The thing that I liked the most about when I was watching this match, I thought it was a lot of good hard-hitting action, but every time they showed the ring, they showed Sheamus, and his body language told me he didn't want to do with none of this shit. He was like, why am I out here with this bullshit?
Sheamus or Cesaro? Cesaro seemed pissed the whole way through.
Cesaro turned his back.
He turned his back to him. I mean, so, like, apparently they were having a protest at the bar, and that's what they were going down. I really enjoyed this match. I thought it was a good way to start off SmackDown, and surprisingly, I thought SmackDown had a pretty good narrative compared to some of the other shows this week. Because we moved on to Jeff Hardy, and Jeff Hardy had an interview. He is struggling, and he keeps having fires pop up, and he needs someone to put these fires out because he's trying to. He is searching for validation after he lost to Sheamus, and he's beginning to doubt himself. The truth is, he is a junkie and an alcoholic, and Sheamus doesn't have a problem with him, but with his own insecurities. He is a human anomaly. I don't know what word Jeff made up right there, but Marcus, did you feel Jeff pain when he was talking in his interview?
Well, if you're going to use human anomaly, Eric, I feel your pain. That you had to dig deep into your deep vocabulary. Even though A. Smith wouldn't even use a human anomaly.
That's what Jeff said, man. Jeff called himself a human anomaly.
I cried.
You cried?
You cried.
I cried. That was because I was trying to keep my eyes open because I was falling asleep. But I cried, going like, come on, end this segment. Get back to a match. I can't take talking. I'm not going to make it.
Did you cry also, Manny?
During this match?
No,
during this segment.
Yes.
No. I did like that the fact that they went down the line of that Sheamus is a bully.
Yeah. And then also, I love that Marcus said that he just wanted them to give him a match, and then the match that they gave him afterwards is a match, I'm just going to say the line, Shorty G beat Mojo, and that's the match that he got to forget about the
Wait, that happened?
That happened, Marcus.
Yeah, that was a real thing.
Yeah.
You went to sleep?
Yeah, I didn't see that one.
So, did you wake up for Miz TV at least?
Half of it.
Well, did you?
I saw Slayer cuss her out.
So
what was the other way around?
No. So
yeah,
what happened is, Marcus, they've been advertising Mandy Rose was going to be a guest on Miz TV the whole night. We didn't know why. Before they started, they explained that the reason why they lost their match against Braun Strowman is because they weren't prepared for the change in the rules of the match, and that threw them off of their game. And you know what? You can't have, and then on top of the rule changing, you have Big Otis in the back looming, ready to get a title shot. So they could not focus on the task at hand. I felt it was very, I thought it was justifiable. Then they called Mandy Rose down to the ringside. And as with every Mandy Rose segment that we get in professional wrestling, it's always a clever ruse to get Sonya Deville to come down to the ring and confront Mandy Rose. It always happens. And
this is still going on.
It is pretty much Sonya Deville can't understand why Mandy keeps getting TV segments and she can't be booked at all. She wants to have answers, and she keeps asking Mandy Rose in the back. Manny, did you care about Sonya Deville's quest to be happy and be on TV?
Yeah, because I think there's more to offer with her than there is Mandy, and I don't know where this is going, especially with allegedly Dolph being moved over to Raw. Where does this leave Sonya? Because Sonya's now on her own.
I thought Sonya held herself very well in this segment, and Marcus, I would like you to speak on the fact that she says she's going to make her ugly on the outside, just like how she's already ugly on the inside. Did you get to that part?
Yes. Okay. Yes, I did. But I believe there's money in Sonya Deville. I would bet the stake that she's the most underappreciated woman on the WWE roster. What proved it to me was her matches with Lacey Evans. Can she do it with other people? I don't know. But she handled herself well on the microphone and kept my ass awake after waking me up. She woke my ass up. I was like, oh, Sonya's talking. I got to know what she got to say. She's just not the flag wearer of Pride. She is a fighter. And she proved it tonight. And she cussed out Mandy Rose, and she's going to beat her ass just like she beat up Lacey Evans.
And I also
shout out to Sonya.
And I also want to point out that her suit was fire. I liked her suit. It fit well on her.
Oh, yeah.
And the little tie was a nice touch. I was like, go ahead with your bad self, Sonya. And you know,
that was a really good look.
She wore a suit better than Escobar this week. Escobar's suit didn't fit him.
I like that Escobar suit. Yeah, supposed to, man. You don't know anything about fashion.
Yeah, I like the suit too, man. I don't know, man.
He had the suspenders, and he had it buttoned up to the top. Man, that dude's smooth.
So no, suits are meant to be fitting, not. You're meant to wear the suit, not it just hang off you.
Nah, the suit was wearing him, Jack. You misunderstood that.
So the next match was the New Day going against the Lucha House Party with the women's tag team champions being on commentary. I must say,
drunk, right?
I don't know what happened, but for whatever reason, the abuse of Corey Graves was the most enjoyable thing that happened. First, New Day came out and threw their jackets at Corey Graves. I must admit, that is the greatest moment in wrestling, and having Sasha and Bayley at ringside to react to it. Hey, what's that about?
Ooh, I gotta take notes.
Yeah.
They were literally drunk. Like, I could not fall asleep on this segment because they were so loud and out of their mind. They were just saying the most random stuff. And I was going like, why are they calling this match?
Then, on top of that, they shut Corey up. Corey stopped talking for a good period of the show because he didn't know what they were doing. And at the end of the day, all this led to was Cesaro and Nakamura attacking the New Day afterwards just to stake their claim at the title shot because we forgot about the Forgotten Sons already. Marcus, it kept you awake. Did you like the transition of this story?
I was intrigued about the Bayley and Sasha thing of why they were calling the New Day's match. But we bring up the Forgotten Sons. Killian Dane, even though he's not a Marine and not a Trump supporter, I think needs to join the Forgotten Sons.
Well, Marcus, the Forgotten Sons, only one person is a Trump supporter. The other people denounced their own partner.
I don't care about that. You bad because you associated with him. But the segment that I thought was interesting was the random segment of all the women, all four of them, or five, standing in the back at that ring, talking about they ain't shit, they ain't doing this. And then Lacey Evans, I believe, turned heel again.
Marcus, first of all,
Sabrina was in this segment, by the way. Don't you take that away from me.
You didn't even let Mandy speak on the situation that took place. I know you already heard his response when you guys did your show on Thursday, but maybe the people
No, that was SmackDown.
We didn't talk about SmackDown.
What are we talking about, the future?
SmackDown is your show, Eric.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta have SmackDown. Damn it, you're right. It is my show.
SmackDown on the DSPN.
This is the exclusive of the Saturday show, the SmackDown Report. Maddie, do you like the transition with the New Day going against Nakamura and Cesaro?
Well, it made sense, especially when Cesaro dropped the. I can't remember the line to use, but it was like. It was like 8 years, and this is the mistreatment I get, and I believe him. I was like, Cesaro should be world champion by now.
He needs to be in NXT.
Cesaro is the man, and people need to put more respect on his name.
Someone who got some respect is
NXT.
Titus O'Neil got nominated for some humanitarian award. Shout out to Big Titus on that one. But as Marcus said, the women were all backstage.
He's not Black Ninja?
No, he's not, Marcus. No one knows who this guy is. So they're backstage, and as you say,
Ninja, not Black Ninja.
for whatever reason, Naomi is lacing up her boots. She ain't got no match. She's lacing up her boots, and they're all just hanging out with each other, and no one likes each other, but they're all hanging out. Tamina got out the mental asylum, apparently, and the question that Alexa Bliss had that I can't stand is, where is Nikki Cross? We come to find out that for whatever reason, after the New Day and Cesaro had their match and their interaction, Sasha and Bayley are still at ringside.
They don't plan on leaving. They were on that bullshit.
Nikki Cross attacks Sasha Banks and then gets in the ring and starts taking off her clothes. And then Bayley makes a match for Sasha where Sasha once again beats Nikki Cross. God damn it, Marks, they are killing me with the slow burn between Sasha and Bayley. I need to know what's going to happen. Did you care about this match that was thrown away?
I actually did. I thought it was a solid match. I thought Sasha elevated Nikki Cross in this one. And Bayley just being a bitch and throwing her into that match was great. It was great. Bayley is super evil. Sasha's the one's going to turn face, and they're going to do their feud in reverse.
Wes, I will not put respect on Tamina's name.
Eric, until he gets that shirt, do not refer to Wes.
That's what I'm saying. I was just going to let him know. Thank you, Betty, for stopping me from making a mistake. I mean, him and his partner in crime, like this other guy, he's wearing button-up shirts just so he doesn't have to wear his Tamina shirt. That's the bullshit we dealing with right now. It's straight bullshittery.
I know I'm not wearing my Tamina shirt under here, all right?
What, Marcus?
I like to wear my Tamina shirt close to my heart, okay? Because no one is meaner than Tamina.
I will let you know, wearing it as an undershirt is the same as putting the shirt on top of it. Only thing different is that you don't want to let the flag show that you're supporting Tamina. It will still be at your heart, man. At your heart.
Yeah, just like my Confederate flag shirt.
And as we learned last week, you're currently dead, sir, because I own your life.
No, I took Eric's life.
No. We did no trade. I didn't accept no trade.
Why would you want my life? You don't want my life.
Trade. You can have my life.
I'm fucking wearing a Bobby Roode shirt. No one wants that life.
Glorious.
I'm just saying.
I can't get paid.
Glorious. Although it is a great shirt. I would say that they hyped up the return of the Firefly Funhouse. To me, it was a big letdown because I don't care about the champion. Manny, the return of Bray, that's not the return of Bray.
Well, no one cares about Braun Strowman as world champion. That's the real problem here. No one cares. As I said in the pre-production show, he looks like the guys that you see walking around live events wearing a title belt that they've bought off WWEshop.com. He doesn't look like a guy that holds the title. He looks like a guy that's bought the title and is holding a replica.
And if you're that type of guy that walks around an event with a championship, we are glad that you listen to the show. We really do appreciate your support. Marcus, you were half awake for the Braun Strowman segment.
I had to watch it 3 times. Because I was done. After Sasha and Bayley took the last hour of SmackDown, I was like, that's the end of the show. Like, they started the hour, pretty much, and they ended the show. That was the end. And it was Braun Strowman come out with a full head of steam in the middle of this, and it was nice seeing vintage Bray. That was it.
And that concludes all the shows. We're about to be under 30 minutes, and so now it's time for me to move on to the emails. And our first email comes from Chris, who's been in our chat room all day, causing ruckus and accusing me of hate.
Chaos.
The email. I forgot to get my water, so my mouth is a little dry right now. It's just a little dry. So hopefully I don't stumble over these words. Guys. You could at least take the cap off, Marcus. You could have took the cap off.
Okay.
Look at that water, man. It's like a mirage. Look at that. That's the Saudi. I don't fuck with the Saudi. Anyway.
Yeah, you fucked up now. You sick.
He says.
Enjoy your sand water.
He says there was way too much penis talk in last week's show. Thankfully, it was a week I was just listening in my room and not on my Bluetooth speaker at work. Can't really explain away why one is talking about another man's boner, especially when the two involved are brothers. Also, I typed in a cuss word or two
remember this conversation
during the live stream.
But I'm allowed to talk about Eric's boner as much as he's allowed to talk about mine.
I'm not bringing this up during the live stream, but they didn't appear in the chat room. Did Mr. PG WWE block such words from appearing? I don't block anything. That's just probably the app of doing that. Censorship at its finest. I don't really like cursing that much, so thanks, Eric. Someday I'll go back to reporting on my views on the week of wrestling, but until I hear things are improving, I'll just be random story time. Manny, I forgot to mention that you are my third favorite YouTube podcast host. Good job, mate. Manny, there wasn't. You're his third. I guess now Manny needs to know who's the other two. He wants the competition.
Us, fool.
Oh,
us. You stupid idiot.
But who's one or two? Out between you two, who's one or two?
We don't want to bring up that because we don't want to break up the show. We clearly know I'm number one. Let me just end that discussion right now.
The sad part about it, I don't care about being number two. I never want to be number one. I've always wanted to be the henchman. Never want to be the leader. I'd rather be the henchman.
You're a fraud. You're a fraud.
I feel like I orchestrate stuff better instead of making the hard decisions. That's just who I am. Manny, there wasn't much else to really tell about the power outage other than the Karen story. I couldn't do half my job since we obviously couldn't use any computers or mail equipment. But there is more on Karen, oh my sweet Karen. My coworker informed me to be careful on how hard I stare at her ass because I apparently go into some kind of trance. He says it looks like I'm watching some kind of TV show on her ass. It's not exactly wide screen or anything, but I definitely watch a program or two on it and kick it old school like those small TVs I had in my room growing up. Wells Fargo was holding some kind of tennis tournament last year with profits going to some kind of organization. I found out that she used to play tennis in high school and college. She was supposed to be in the tournament, but alas, suffered an ankle injury the week before. That's a damn shame because I would have either taken an extended lunch break or just called the hell out that day to watch her prance around in one of those tennis skirts. Damn. I remember one day she'd come to the mailroom and give me a mix CD that she made for me. Shame that she's married.
This kind of stories you like, Eric. This kind of stories you like in your X-rated movies.
You got that right. Ain't nothing like to a mixed CD turn into some fucking into the mailroom. That's how it goes down. Why is Bianca Belair stuck on main event? What was the purpose of calling her up, then lock her down in solitude on some show nobody watches? Go ahead and defend him, Mr. WWE apologist. Eric, I don't hate Randy Orton. Don't go putting words in my mouth. I just don't care about him. There's a difference. Also, y'all, how you going to complain about Cody overexposure but be perfectly okay when Alien tends to be on 8 shows a week and appearing in multiple segments per week? The fuck out of here. So do I have a Skype account to get on the show?
Wrestler.
I look on.
Charlie had better matches.
And she's not an executive. However, just heads up, I haven't watched any of the shows in a very long time. I just listen to you guys out of pure habit and entertainment value. Like I said before.
And out of percentage, but out of percentage, they each show up on 100% of their main shows.
Why did you have to get all close up into the camera?
I don't know. I'm
like I said before, someday I'll get back to it. Until next time, no, wait. Year 1, I use a straight razor on the face and head. There's just can't wait till the little bit on the head stops growing completely to get rid of that hassle. Until next time, I remain anxiously awaiting to watch gameplay of The Last of Us 2. P.S. Marcus, I have nothing for you this week.
And what's he normally have for you? Drugs?
I don't know. And then he asked in the chat room, what is your favorite?
Challenges.
What is your favorite Jodeci song?
I don't think I have one.
Marcus, do you have one?
The one when they sung about the woman.
Wow. I would go with Freak Me Baby. There we go. Which was a song about a woman. And and Chris, I need you to be careful with Karen. Things are rough out there and you shouldn't get caught staring because that could be considered a crime. Be careful.
No staring at Karen.
Our last email comes from the Disman. It's the guy who likes brownies and cake batter shakes, the guy who likes fried onions on his cheesesteaks, the guy who puts the Wu in the Wu-Tang Clan. It's the greatest of the greatest, the Disman. What's really good, Sharpies? What's really good? To get things started this week.
You get that powdered orange juice, and I put the Wu-Tang.
To get things started this week, I wanted to share another potential title for Marcus and Manny's show, the Man Finale Show. It's just popped into my head, so do what you will with it. I will admit that
sounds gross.
That sounds disgusting.
It sounds like we should get an OnlyFans.
He says the untitled.
That sounds like we're about to get canceled. That's what it sounds like.
But he says the untitled Manny and Marcus show does have a nice ring to it as well. I mean, there was a show called The Best Damn Sports Show, period, so why overthink it? I actually am a fan of the untitled Manny and Marcus show. I don't know why I am, but it works for me. Real quick, does anyone else think that Leon Ruff and Ring of Honor wrestler Cheeseburger would make a good team? I mean, both men are black and skinny like licorice, and well, okay, that's basically it. Marcus? No, okay.
Leon Ruff needs to be on his own.
No, he needs to form the Ruff Bunch. Cheeseburger could be in there, but I don't think they should be a tag team. It should be Leon Ruff, Tahuti Mouse, Dinjar D. Jarnett, who may or may not be Angelo Dawkins, pitting off Eric Switchell, and they should form the Ruff Bunch. Damn it!
And come out to the Rough Rider anthem.
Wow.
Oh, what you gonna do?
And this is the stuff that you get to hear on the Marcus and Manny show on Tuesdays and Thursdays. If Marcus can make it through both shows. As I lean out of frame. Let me get back into frame. Moving on. I was listening to an interview with Lance Archer the other day, and he was talking about the night he was going to make his WWE version of ECW debut. He was told he needed to cut his hair. Not only that, but all the stuff he was doing before he got there was taken away from him. My question for you guys is, do you guys feel that communication with your talent is important? Or do you think because that's what I want, is a good enough reason? I always believe in communication being a strong factor, but at the end of the day, who's signing your check will probably have the last say in what goes on. Right, Marcus?
Yeah, but I feel like they weren't wrong, though, with this situation. Lance Archer wasn't working. I didn't like him in TNA. He was a dude with a tramp stamp with long hair and seemed like he was a member of 3MB before 3MB actually existed. He didn't find himself until he became a 40-year-old man, called himself the Murder Hawk.
No, but then when he was in New Japan, wasn't he just going around with the Bulldog's son spitting in people's faces with water when he came out?
Yeah, he wasn't doing anything. He didn't find himself until he became the Murder Hawk in Japan. Sometimes it takes time. And they knew they had somebody. Vince liked big guys, but they didn't know what they really had. They didn't know what they wanted. And, I would have fired him and cut his hair too. Just saying. Maybe not before your match. Have this planned out. But Vince don't plan shit. He made Undertaker go get his bags. Like, I'm going to use you on Monday. What?
All right. And he says, finally, I have an announcement pertaining to AWO Big Time Players Episode 2, continuing to grow. It is very close to making its way to Amazon as an ebook and a paperback. You can still pick up a copy of AWO Big Time Players Episode 1, The Beginning of a Change at Amazon. The reason I bring this up is not only because I want to get sales, but because I have a question. Spoiler alert, but Lord Manny Hayes will be making his AWO debut. My question for you guys is, the House, Blackjack,
right to that.
Is the House, Blackjack, and Pie Guy willing to work with Lord Manny? Why not?
Yeah, sure. I mean, why not be the manager of the house? Because you can make the money. You're in charge of our money. We're just goons. We're just foiled. We just go out there and collect. But you can put us in situations to collect.
Yeah, but I forgot the manager of Blackjack and Pie Guy originally. I remember it was some spin on
It was the pit boss or something, right?
The pit boss, yeah. The pit boss might be unhappy that they no longer in charge. Or
they're still in the group.
They're just not in charge.
4-person group.
Anyway, Sharpies, I'm going to go, but you guys take care. Remember, without a humble but reasonable moment of confidence in your own powers and abilities, you will not be successful or happy. Later, guys. Oh, P.S. I've disclosed some images for Sharpie Shop. Signed, the Disman. And he said this email was sponsored by Great Getaway Travel Agency, the place to help you get away from it all. Visit emersoncotton.intel travel.
Oh.
You know what? It's going to be in the comments for you guys to visit. Anyway, that concludes another episode of this grandiose and wonderful show. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And Marcus, we would like to give you a round of applause for making it through the show with such a limited amount of sleep. On the video, you look disengaged and asleep half of the time, but we know that you gave as much energy as you possibly could, consider that you was working for the
I
weekend.
feel like this is the same energy I always give.
No, you
I don't
usually
know what else I could have did.
No, you're a little bit more feisty.
What, today?
No, normally. Like you're just kind of letting people walk over you today.
I said fuck you.
Yeah, but you usually would say more.
I said fuck your show. I criticize your taste in porn. My camera guy, the person. I hit all my catchphrases, baby. I was in rep 4. There is no difference. Even though I have food on the way, I was more thinking about, man, let's take this food back, man. I'm going to sleep.
I don't even know.
Sorry.
Manny, what is your Carrot Top routine that you may do on the other show?
I don't know. He said I'm the new Carrot Top, and I don't understand that, and I find that offensive, to be honest.
Are you offended because it looks like Carrot Top, or because Carrot Top looks like he's on drugs and you don't want to be associated with looking like drugs?
Both.
Okay.
Both, sir.
Carrot Top looks nasty. Like you would get COVID virus for him just walking to your house.
You know, I realized I was gonna play the Dizman's thing that he recorded for listener feedback, but it doesn't make much sense because I do not have a closeout screen like the Manny and Marcus show. So I will not be playing that right there, and that sucks. So I would just.
Why can't you put the production in that I do? Huh? It takes me 10 minutes to do what I do. Come on, man. Just take 5 minutes of your time to put a little bit of production. I do our production live on the show.
And it shows.
You son of a bitch.
That's all I had. So with that being said, being called a son of a bitch, I am Eric.
I'm Lord Manny. Hey! Ho ho!
Check out the Marcus and Manny show. And I'm Marcus the grand finale.
I hate you both right now. But until next week, stay sharp.
Hold on. Boop.
Boop.
You guys are ridiculous.